Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round.
Here's the suckers.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the leaf. Coming to you live once again from the corner of No Hope. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight the boys discover a new best friend in Charles Bronson lookalike Robert Bronzy as they talk their way through the completely unique, well, at the same time really not unique at all, 2018 vigilante flick Death Kiss, while drinking pint after pint of Innis Gunn's original ale, paired with the delicious Cuban Partagas Serie D No. 4 cigar. Sounds like we're in store for one hell of a party, you filthy punks. So sit back, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
Y'all keeping up on your celebrity news? Yakwe, I know you're always curious what famous celebrities are up to.
Absolutely.
I saw this peculiar headline this morning in the Daily Mail. Sophie Turner, you familiar with who that is?
I am.
Game of Thrones. She plays one of the Stark girls, the redhead, the older sister.
Yeah. I think Ted knows who she is.
X-Men too, right? She's in the new X-Men movie?
Yes.
Sophie Turner, here's the headline.
I've seen her.
Sophie Turner chugs a whole glass of red wine in front of ice hockey fans before distracting fiancé Joe Jonas with kisses. How could I not click on that article? It says, we know her best for her acting talents, but Sophie Turner has quite the party trick up her sleeve. On Tuesday night, the Game of Thrones actress thoroughly entertained ice hockey fans by downing a glass of red wine in one go, which was caught on camera for the arena's Jumbotron. But she also seemed to be vying for a kiss cam moment as she spent the New York Rangers game smooching fiancé Joe Jonas. Guys, that's of the Jonas Brothers.
I was going to ask that.
At Madison Square Garden. When the British actress, 23, noticed that she was being shown on the gigantic video screen, she picked up the wine glass and knocked it back as folks laughed and cheered. She then fist pumped and laughed before wiping the excess wine that dribbled down her chin. Sophie later posted footage of the moment on her Instagram and, referencing her Game of Thrones character, wrote, "The Starks know how to send it."
Heck yeah, Sophie. You just went up in my... Regardless of that Jonas thing, her stock went up.
So, hear me out, boys. On a Tuesday night this took place.
Yeah.
A Tuesday night.
Okay.
What's your shirt say there, Ted?
It says Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
This young actress just happened to chug a drink the very week after I chugged yet another drink. How many of those have I done? Right here on the podcast. Coincidence? I think not.
Maybe Sophie's a fan of the podcast.
We are officially influencers, fellas.
I think so.
We are changing the cultural zeitgeist one beer chug at a time.
You're welcome, Jonas Brothers.
So why don't we see what young Hollywood starlet we can tempt to follow our lead next, shall we?
I hope not Winona Ryder.
This is my thing. Mine.
Dude, people have been chugging things forever.
He's chugging it.
Why are you doing this?
What?
Why are you doing this? I mean,
Yes.
who's going to do it? Is
He's-
it? I mean, maybe Justin Bieber chugs one next. I mean, well, you did it.
You did it.
See where she got that move where you wipe it off?
You got a fist pump. Yeah, there you go. There's the fist pump.
If you watch our Buddha Remembrance video,
You got it. You
I
got it in
trademarked that fist bump. You're welcome, Sophie Turner. See, Tut was all like on board. Like, I love
I
this
know.
chick now. She's
I
a
know.
fan. She's clearly
Absolutely.
a fan. And I'm like all
Absolutely.
bitter about it. It's my thing. That's what you get from chugging too many beers over the years. You're very paranoid. Everybody's your enemy. No, maybe we'll get some other young, hot.
there. Sophie, man, write us on the podcast, and we'll get you a sticker.
Maybe Ariana Grande will be seen chugging from a boot next.
I'm just chugging from the boot.
Demi Lovato, maybe. Well, I think she's got some substance abuse problems. That's probably not. We don't want to see her chug a beer. She's really cute, though.
She is cute.
Is that the Cuban girl? Yeah.
I don't think so.
I know the name, not the music sound.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people, what they do. I do know the Sophie Turner girl from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
But
Because
we're basically famous.
They were nice enough to point that out for us.
Yes.
Sophie Turner. Game of Thrones. Oh, Game of Thrones. All right, yeah.
Hey, boys, we've been saying for years, make America party again.
And this just happened to be a Brit. Cool on you.
Mappa?
I'm sure that chugging that beer just
Napa.
now on an empty stomach won't affect the rhythm and flow of tonight's show whatsoever.
No, we're screwed.
I'll be keeping it classy and tasteful as always because after all, I am a professional beer chugger, unlike these rookies out there. I know what I'm doing. So let me ask you before we get things started. After watching tonight's film, was I the only one who wanted to see the Charles Bronson look like in a porno?
Yes.
Yes, you are the only one.
First you're coming, now you're going. Blamo. Come on, imagine that dude looking just like Charles Bronson in a porno.
You got $6? Condoms.
There you go. I'm gonna shoot my loads all over your face. All 6 of them. Blamo. So yeah, I guess it is kind of disturbing that I picture that immediately after he screws the girl, he shoots her in the face.
I call this move the plumber. This one's called the driver.
I promise.
And if I put this leg this way, it's the mechanic.
You gotta watch out for him tonight. I'll stop, no more. First I squeezed your knockers, now I'll squeeze the trigger. Blemo. Now you're dead. Alright, enough of that. It's enough of that. I can't believe you guys didn't think that, no?
No, I did not. That's quite disturbing, actually.
We're gonna get into all sorts of trouble tonight, aren't we?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Because now I'm picturing it.
I can't stop. Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 91.
91, man.
91.
Marching our way to 100, one episode at a time. That's how it works.
We're almost there. And I promise I will try to behave from here on out. We've had some kind of raunchy episodes. I'm going to steer clear. You ever hear of a Bronson 69? You lay on top of me and I shoot you in the face. Lemo. Cats Fest. Who's going to Cats Fest this year?
Oh, wow.
You going?
Am I?
I don't know.
No.
We'll
figure it out.
We're still in limbo when here, but I do want to take a minute to
Our
tell you.
schedule is trying to work out.
We're
'cause
trying
we
to
got
work
some
out-
things up in the air.
Would you say logistics? We're working on
Logistics. We are working the frack out of some logistics.
The 2009 Cats Festival, a.k.a. Cats Fest 6, will be the first craft beer and cigar festival in the United States. That sounds right up our alley.
Actually does.
But Cats Fest is so much more than a craft beer and cigar festival. It is a great community coming together to support our deployed men and women in the armed services and having an exceptional time while doing it. Things kick off, give you a little sneak peek of how these things go. This year is much bigger than ever. Things kick off in style Friday night with the Drew Estate VIP Denim and Lace Dinner.
So you know it's going to be good.
If we go, we will be VIPs.
Aren't we always?
Always VIPs.
Always.
Followed that night with the Chili with Beans competition. They have several different categories of chili cook-offs.
You got to have chili without beans.
Is there any other type of chili than chili with beans? I like beans.
I like beans too, but apparently there's a lot of Southern people that are like, you don't.
But
put
I do
beans
like
in
the fact
chili.
that they did specify
Oh, it's
chili
with beans.
Because chili is delicious, and it's just the meat.
The only chili I don't like with beans is on hot dogs.
No, I'm cool with that too.
I would put it on there. I'm not going to turn it down, but
I would totally turn it down.
yeah.
Beans do not belong on chili on hot dogs.
No. As long as you can Rachel Ray the cheese on top of that thing.
To me,
it's
chili.
fine.
To me, chili without beans is sloppy Joe.
Might as well.
But
be.
I'm
sloppy
I'm
Joe
originally
too.
from up north. They're big on beans in their chili up there. I make you sick.
Is your
don't I?
sloppy Joe a
No,
manwich?
no.
No, we call them sloppy joes.
Oh, okay. You don't
Yeah, you-
just open a big deal of
No,
manwich.
you
and
use the
throw it in?
manwich, but we don't call it. We call it sloppy joes.
No, it's just some scathing.
You ever hear of a
notes.
Bronson sloppy Joe? I get in squat thrust position. All right, that's sorry. Trying to help Cat's Best here, damn it.
Oh, these
and
images
then-
aren't going to go away anytime
And
soon.
then after the chili with beans competition, there's the Drew Diplomat Legendary Pre-Party. Boys, we've been to a lot of the Drew Estate pre-parties. I'd say so many memories, but I don't remember a lot of what goes on there.
It is a party.
Is
Oh, it's a
Pedro
party.
going to be there?
I'm sure he will be.
Then I'm not partying with that dude. 'cause
I don't know how popular the dance floor will be at the Drew Diplomat pre-party after the chili with beans cook-off. I'll dance later. Come over, join the party. I'll be there in a second. Y'all dance. Yeah. Anywho, then on Saturday, this is why you're there. The big event, you get cigars, you got craft beer, you got Bloody Mary competitions in the morning,
Those are my kind of competitions.
and mustache and beard competitions in the afternoon. That's my kind of competition. I just trimmed it. I did have a decent beard. Live music galore.
I said, yeah.
I did have a good beard.
Well, you said you trimmed it.
Oh, you like
I
it?
was just agreeing.
Okay. I used to have a glorious beard. Now it's wimpy.
I didn't say that.
I saw it in your eyes. And finally, on Sunday, you've got a
You're
bunch
right.
of stuff like the Cigars for Warriors 2-person scramble golf tournament, the Crazy Pizza Party. Why is it crazy? You got to show up to find out. It's literally 3 fucking days of raising hell and raising a ton of dough for our troops in the process. So, Cade, when is this event?
when is this event, Cade?
You may ask. Thank you, Tut. May 23rd through the 26th.
Okay.
Lake Granbury Conference Center in Granbury, Texas.
Up
Not
around
Granbury,
Dallas.
Granbury.
Bury.
Up near Dallas. It's in a new location for
New
the first time
location.
in years.
Yeah.
Go to catsfestival.com for ticket and hotel information. Be there or else, punk.
If you do go, don't party with Pedro on a Friday night because you won't remember Saturday and you won't be good Sunday.
Although, you know, I'm very proud of us. We party our faces off every Friday night, that Drew Estate pre-party, and we showed up ready to rock on Saturday. I mean, sometimes we're dragging each other down to the podcast stand like Chuck Rambo dragging those prisoners of war. But we made it. We made it, and we always did our jobs. And I hope to be there this year.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
It's
really
gonna be huge. And Storm and Cigars for Warriors are really great friends of the show. We do whatever we can to help. And
And
I'm-
it is a good community. I met my Reverend there.
Yes, you did. Quick little note: we will be doing a possible live show
my Reverend.
next week with your Reverend. Our good friend Rev Java is going to be joining us, who we all met at Cats Fest, and he's one of our good friends now. And so yeah, it's a really great environment to meet people, to celebrate cigar culture, to bring your wife, get her introduced to cigar
My
culture.
wife's been to one.
My wife has been to one as well. So yeah, catsfestival.com, I believe is the website.
Catsfestival.com.
And we'll let you know in a couple weeks if we're going to be there. And stay tuned. I might just have some tickets to give away, and those tickets ain't cheap.
What?
Yeah. So
Yeah, they aren't cheap.
be sure and tune in to our possible live episode next week. Our Revenge of the Nerds episode is what the Reverend has picked for us to talk about.
Give me the tickets, mama.
And give me those tickets, mama. And yeah, might have some tickets for you. Stay tuned.
Sweet.
Before we move on, Yak Boy, you just had as always, epic weekend, St. Patty's Day at your pub, O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas. Speaking of pubs, Tut needs a beer.
How did that St. Patrick's Day go?
As always, it went off good.
Busy as hell.
Yes, busy as hell.
You guys shut down the
2
whole
days.
the whole street in downtown Temple, Texas.
Did your plan survive the first contact with the enemy?
No,
Or was
not
it
really.
just
It was
like-
just it just failed at every level. You try and plan everything out. You try to say like we got to do this and that, and we'll do this different. Nah, it just goes to hell.
Then all
But-
hell breaks loose.
Everybody had a great time. It was in fact 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it was the St. Patty's was on a Sunday, so Saturday was also gangbusters. Live music all weekend.
Bangers and mash out the yin yang.
Bang. Yeah, I don't know if I want to put it there.
That didn't sound good.
Yeah, I was looking at the pictures from all the musical acts you had there. It looked pretty nice.
Yes, it was.
Everybody's rocking. Everybody's dancing. Everybody was just having a good time.
Good
we
stuff.
gave you 2 days to recover before doing the show. You still look incredibly sleepy.
It's all right. I can survive.
Drink some of this. You'll be fine. How many kegs of green beer did you guys go through this time? 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23.
2.
You don't want to have green beer after.
That's true. That's true.
Not like
That
they
is
say
the-
don't wear
that is
white
the-
after Labor
No, I
Day.
think
You
that's-
don't want to drink
I think
green beer
that's the
after
secret.
St. Patty's
Those first
Day.
couple of years when Cody had the pub, he was still shoveling that shit on us like in late April.
Drink it.
Oh, more green beer. That's
Oh.
that's great.
Green beer, my favorite. Well, good. And if you missed out, there's always next year.
I've decided I'm going to learn the bagpipes, and then I will be performing at O'Brien's next year.
Well, then hurry and come out. That might be the last St. Patty's Day
This
celebration.
may or
of
may
Ryan's.
not happen.
Why? You got a goal. That's more than
that's
usually
right.
we do around here.
Goal. I got a goal.
Look at you. Who do you
Oh.
think you are? Chug that beer.
I've
Get
got
rid of
goal-
those goals.
I've got goals.
Wash them out of your system. Tud, anything from you before we start things off?
No.
All right. This
Bronski is taking over already.
This Charles Bronson nonsense is going to make a lot more sense
I
here in
will
about
say, if
10
you're going
minutes.
to buy something from Amazon, go to the TuesdayNightCigarClub.com website, click on the Amazon, then shoot. No, I almost went pornographic there, and I'm not going to.
You really disappointed me, man.
I know, I can't, man. I know, if you're going to buy something on Amazon, go to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com, click on the little Amazon deal, do your shopping from there. We get a little kickback. If you're going to do some cigar shopping, go into TuesdayNightCigarClub.com, click on the famous smoke banner, and then if you're going to spend something like say about $100, type in the promo code TNCC20, TNCC20, and you'll get $20 off.
And I'm going to give you a little tip. Go to Cigar Monster. They've got about 50 bargain deals.
You stack those up.
Well, just get what you want. It's a little under $100.
Yeah.
Then go to Cigar Monster, get you a 5-pack of something that looks interesting. They're all on sale, but they come with free shipping.
Yeah.
So boom, you get it right around $100. You don't have to pay shipping. Then you get the $20 off. You're out of there for $80. Man, you're rocking.
Bam.
You're welcome.
I like it.
I like it a lot too.
Join us on Instagram, TNCC_podcast. Hit us on Facebook, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
That's a lot of
Boom.
new subscribers last week.
Yeah, you did, because it was our St. Patrick's Day extravagant
Yeah, because I
drinking
chugged the damn boot.
Well, I mean,
People want to see the chugs.
Did Sophie subscribe to us?
Who? I'm sorry, I just chugged a beer. I don't know what you're talking about. Sophie Turner, of course.
The Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she did subscribe to us.
Okay.
And she does follow me on Instagram.
I want to try not to remember I'm twice her age, and she's like,
Was she ever naked on that show?
no, I don't
Everybody
think she
else
was. Yeah, no, her and Arya haven't been because they were so young.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, because even when she was with Home Dude,
No.
I don't think she was.
I'd like to see Khaleesi chug a beer. Be like TNCC. Rip open like TNCC t-shirt on.
Ooh, I want to see Khaleesi's bodyguard with this new Charles Bronson. Khaleesi, I am going to chug a beer. No, you can't, Khaleesi. I'm going to chug a beer.
I'd like to see him take that dude's place. Summon the dragons. No. Did you feed the dragons? Yes. All right. All right. We're going to get to this very unique movie here just in a minute. But as always, we pair the movie with a cigar and a beer. Our movie features an imposter a literal fake Charles Bronson. It looks like Charles Bronson.
Someone speaks
does
like Charles.
in a voice that's kind of like Charles Bronson, but it is literally a fake Charles Bronson. So in the cigar world, what cigars are faked more than anything?
Cubans.
Cuban cigars. So I decided, you know what? We're going to smoke a real Cuban tonight.
What?
This, my friends, is the Cuban Partagas Serie D No. 4.
Okay.
It is a 4.9 times 50 Robusto, Cuban wrapper, Cuban binder, Cuban filler, imagine that. Box code, which is important when you're trying to discern fakes from you got to look at the box code on the bottom from Habanos. That can tell you if you're getting fakes or real. Box code for you keeping track at home. EPM FEB 18. These are from February of 18. Distributor is, like all Cuban cigars, Habanos SA. I'm going to say price point. From Cigar Aficionado magazine, who I don't reference a lot here on the show, but they rated tonight's cigar a 93. They don't throw those out very lightly. Back in 2012 and 2015, and they gave it a whopping 94 way back in 2011. I learned this from CA. Don Jaime Partagas created the Partagas brand in Cuba in 1845. That's like over 150 years ago, right? Yes.
Yes.
And he constructed the majestic Partagas cigar factory as a proud symbol of his brand, which later was run by Ramon Cifuentes until he lost it to nationalization when the government took over.
Yep.
Cuba's Partagas brand is large and includes the best-selling handmade cigar from Cuba, the Robusto size Serie D No. 4. This very cigar we're smoking tonight is the most popular Cuban cigar sold today.
Okay. Like all across the world? Like
Correct.
Pitbull worldwide?
Correct.
Okay.
Didn't see that coming, did you, boys?
No, it really didn't.
No.
No. Sort of. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. Fake
Okay.
Charles Bronson, real Cuban.
That does not fit with the theme at all. I figured we'd be doing fake Cuban.
Where did you get this?
Well, often fake Cubans are made with floor sweepings, hair, rubber bands.
Hey.
They make them for tourists. They put a shiny band on it, put it in a glass top case, sell it on the beach to, numbnuts that don't know any better. And they're also fake Cuban cigars. They're actually just real cigars. They just buy cheap handmade cigars, put a thing on them, and mark them up $20 a pop.
Yeah.
I got this through a reliable source.
Reliable source.
They are becoming more and more easily obtainable in the States.
Right.
There's several very trusted websites which you can get through. I think the majority of them ship via Japan.
Yeah.
That seems to be the route they take. But I got these from a reliable source. I'm going to leave it at that for now. On the cold draw earlier, I will say this. I got a really nice grape-like sweetness. I got some a real mild earthiness smell. But, dude, the feel of the wrapper was what got me. Ted pointed out when we were taking pictures of it, it's kind of, how'd you phrase it? It's
I'm not sure I did phrase it. It's just, it was a very difficult cigar to photograph because it was just kind of, it's not very contrasty. It's kind of non-plus. It's just kind of there. It's rustic, but it's
a very it's a lighter shade, wrapper, but it does have kind of a bumpy kind of feel to it. But that wrapper is just silky as, it's almost like, I don't know. It's run between my fingers. It's got a very unique texture to it.
it did have a very sweet cold draw. I did appreciate that.
You like that sweetness?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was grape or I would identify it as grape, but it was definitely sweet. It was nice. This will be interesting, huh?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you boys with something different tonight. We always said we didn't like to do cigars that were limited or hard to get or all this, but you know what? It's really, if you have it I have no gumption in my life. I'm a beer chugger. If I can track these things down and with fairly easily, anybody can get their hands on some.
Okay.
A little bit of pepper on the nose. I'm getting just a really mild chocolate and nuttiness on the draw.
Huh.
Mild side of medium so far. There's not a lot of strength there at all. Even with the
there's not a lot
even
of
with the
strength.
little faint pepper on the nose.
See, I'm getting woodsy.
You getting some woodsiness?
Yeah, I'm not getting any chocolate whatsoever.
It's a very faint. Kind of like cocoa powder. It's not like a dark chocolate or. It's kind of like a very faint kind of cocoa powder with. Yeah, I can get a little bit of cedar in there. A little bit of cedar. Yeah, did you get anything on the cold draw?
It was almost. It was like a very. It's not. It wasn't like hay. It was like cut grass.
Okay.
But like just like a hint. Like,
Yeah, it was very faint. I think I got a little bit too.
But there was a little bit of a sweetness there. But I mean, nothing earthy.
I'm not getting any of that sweetness in the actual smoke.
No.
Yeah, you know what? About a half inch in, you're right. The woodsiness, that cedar is kind of overtaking the early.
Yeah, to me, it's the most. It's what I identify.
That light cocoa kind of came and went within a few puffs. Now I'm getting just a really nice cedar with that pepper on the nose. The smoke profile looks great coming off your cigar.
It's a sexy looking smoke.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as folks know, there is a Partagas that's available in the States. There's companies that buy the name and put them out. I've been a fan of the Partagas Black for years. We smoked the Partagas Legacy, I believe, earlier this year, and we really liked it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of their tribute to the early days of the factory, but in a cigar we're allowed to buy in America. So yeah, we're doing 2 Partagases. What you got?
A little bit of cinnamon on the retro hill. It's nice. Or not, maybe not cinnamon, but just a sugar. That's nice.
Okay. The pepper does seem to be fading a little way into something, but I'm not quite there yet. First impressions with you, Yags?
A little spice. Yeah, that hay and I mean, a little earthy. Not much.
Not much.
All right, let's come back.
A little chocolate, like you said.
Did you get a little bit of cocoa in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't know. More like almost like baker's chocolate.
Yeah, it was very faint, like a cocoa powder, something you'd use in the kitchen. Okay. Tell you got something else. I mean, this thing's changing. You look like you got something else just now.
I can get a little bit of the
you getting the chocolate
just
now?
a soft chocolate.
Okay.
Off of it.
Nestle's Toll House.
It's all. Now I'm thinking
packed with it.
No, like Nestle's Quick. Nestle's
No,
Quick.
it's like Nestle's Quick is exactly
Nestle's
what
Quick
it's kinda
chocolate
like
powder
it
is what I'm talking here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like when you put the lid back on it, but the stuff kind of pops up in the air and you breathe it in.
Or you're just drunk and
it's
your
very
face-
light.
You just
put your
You
head
just
in
chug
it.
10 beers and your face falls in the Nestle Quick mix. You know what? I'm going to chug a thing of Nestle Quick tomorrow just to kind of balance things out. And I want to be able to show my kids what I do for a living.
How did that doctor's visit go, huh?
I'm telling you, my numbers were good. Hey, thanks for your stool sample. Big help. Big help.
Yeah. I don't remember giving it to you.
That's moving on. You can do this the easy way or the hard way.
The easy way.
Easy way. All right, let's go to Taco Bell.
Am I buying or you buying?
But just think about this. We're not even an inch into this thing. That's what she said. We're not even an inch into this thing. You went from I'm not getting any of that chocolate to I'm getting some of that chocolate. I went from I'm not getting your woodsiness to I'm getting the cedar.
Yeah.
The pepper has kind of come and gone. It's a pretty interesting first inch.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I'm not getting anything.
I wish I'd hear that all the time.
All right. Again, moving on. Yax, what are we pairing with this cigar? We got a movie with a lot of guns in it tonight.
All right.
What do we pair this with?
Why, with a beer with guns.
Oh.
Innis Gunn Original.
I've never heard of this. Tell me about it.
Well, it is started in Edinburgh, Scotland. Founded in 2003 by master brewer Dougal Gunn Sharp.
Dougal Gunn Sharp?
Hell yes, that's
Dougal
a name.
Gunn Sharp.
That is
Oh,
the only
man.
thing that would make that better would be Dougal McGunn Sharp.
Yeah. Well, he's not Irish. He's Scottish.
No, Scottish. McDonaghy,
Yeah.
McLaughlin.
I mean, obviously,
McLeod.
McLeod. No,
That's
there
Irish.
can be only one.
No, that's Scottish.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was originally marketed as the oak aged beer, and then they just switched over because this is their flagship beer. So they just simply refer to it now as the original.
So they were doing barrel aging back in 2003?
Yes, they were
Ahead of the
like
curve.
well ahead of the curve. They actually
Fuck you and your craft beer.
It's Irish.
Yeah, it totally is.
I swear it's gonna be Australian.
Take it easy, McTuttle.
It's a different continent. This is the beer that started off for them. This is what he first created and was really going. He wanted to push, as it says here, the unique bourbon barrel aging process brings flavors like vanilla and toffee.
Got the vanilla.
And it's combined with the malty character of the Scotch ale created to create an incredible taste experience. Now, there's actually the process goes for 30 days. The honey-hued beer sleeps in hand-selected oak barrels locked inside a bonded warehouse, gradually assimilating the subtle flavors that reside in the wood. Barrels are then emptied and maturation continues for a further 47 days in a marrying tun where the natural flavors infuse and fall into perfect balance.
You're breathing into the mic while Cody's doing his thing.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, so tell me more about the hand-selected barrels.
This 77-day process is unique and produces a delicious,
Mesmerized.
refreshing beer. The bourbon infused, the maturation, besides using bourbon-infused heartwood, in their very own okerators.
Okerators. What the hell is an okerator?
I have no idea. It's like copyrighted. It's proprietary to them.
Could they rename it to the McOkerator?
Possibly.
How else would you select things other than hand-selected?
Well, that's the whole point.
Dart-
it's hand-selected oak.
Dart
It's not just like
selected.
So in other
Computer
words,
selected.
instead of going to warehouse and saying, give me those 10, you say, give me those 10.
This one.
1, 2.
This one.
It seems like you'd always hand-select
Hand-selected.
things.
that's just good marketing right there.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with Douglas McCougalin or whatever his name is.
I'm kind of getting the Scotch ale.
Look, I'm taking my hand-selected pencil and I'm pointing it towards this hand-selected cigar as we smoke this hand-selected beer.
What was the guy's name?
Dougal Gunn Sharp.
Gunshot.
Now, Innis Gunn is actually quite popular. It is exported to over 35 countries. It is the number one craft beer in Scotland and number one imported craft beer in Canada.
I'm surprised that I'm just now
Have you ever heard of it?
hearing it.
Yes.
Have you had it at the pub?
No.
No.
I have heard of it.
That's why I
have you
haven't
drank
heard
it?
it.
No.
Okay.
I've
It's new
seen
to all of us.
Well, it's interesting because I do taste the Scotch ale presence, but I don't really taste the creaminess that
I'm getting a
they're
little
kind of
creaminess.
really.
I-
mean, I'm catching your vanilla, but I'm just not getting.
I'm getting
like,
vanilla, and
I
on
can
the-
never taste cream
On
That's
that
just it.
swallow, I'm getting a little bit of cream right before it's got a little bit of that sharp maltiness on the swallow. Does that sound about
Yeah.
right? I'm getting a little bit of cream there right before the kind of the malt bite.
To me, I'm surprised at how clean the beer tastes.
I'll tell you what, it has a beautiful pour. It's just got a gorgeous pour, and I got a really strong whiff of the aroma coming off once I, filled up my pint. Some of that, I think they referenced toffee or caramel. I got like kind of that candied, sweet kind of smell coming off. It's a really good smelling looking beer.
Well, and the real thing here is, a lot of beers that are, doing the whole, barrel aging process. Basically, it's like beer that tastes like, whiskey.
Yeah,
It's whiskey beer.
yeah. Oh, this doesn't have any kind of.
No. I'm basically getting just the wood in that.
Well, that's probably why he hand selects them to pick the right barrels to not give you that whiskey taste.
It's possible.
Whether we're looking at ABV, IBUs,
ABV, it's 6.6,
not
and
bad.
IBUs is almost negligible. It's like 20.
there's very little
Yeah,
bitterness.
yeah, it's not bitter at all.
Okay, I like it so far, and I think I'd hope that the vanilla and kind of the easy would go well with the Cuban.
Yeah,
I think
it's not contrasting at all.
they're playing nice together.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the beer, and I'm not a Scottish ale guy at all. That vanilla and the cream really.
I am.
I told you you'd like this beer.
The beer that I had this weekend, the Old Man Strength.
Oh boy,
It's a Scotch beer.
Went back to the old what's the name of it?
Red Horn.
Red Horn.
Red Horn Cafe. No, Red Horn Coffee House.
Yeah.
And brewery, I guess. I just call it Red Horn.
I enjoyed their double IPA. Slap hoppy, slap hippie, hop sloppy.
Hop sloppy.
Hop sloppy. The regular IPA is the slop hippie. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, we'll check in on it. Man, the cigar is still kind of changing for me by the
Yeah.
every few puffs. It's either
Getting a little bit of breadiness coming
it's either
in there
cedar
as well.
for me on the thing. I'm getting a little bit of earthiness. That cocoa kind of is fluttering under the surface. The peppers never. It's there on the nose, but if I don't pay attention to it, I don't really pick up on it. Where are you getting the breadiness, on the retro or on the draw?
Palate, the draw.
Okay. All right. Well, let me introduce tonight's film, and then we'll get back to tonight's cigar and beer when it seems appropriate. Tonight's film, if you couldn't guess, has a little something to do with Charles Bronson, just a little. By the way, if I ever did make that, if they did make that porno with this Charles Bronson guy in it, I would want his character's name to be Dougal Gunsharp. I'm here for my tuxedo fitting. What's the name, sir? Gunsharp Dougal.
Oh my goodness.
I'll need to measure your inseam, Mr. Gunsharp. No problem.
Do you dress right or left, Mr. Gunsharp?
Depends on which way the wind blows. Tonight's film is called Death Kiss.
Death Kiss.
2018's Death Kiss. Continuing our promise to try to do some more recent
By the way, I'm
films.
very proud of you. You have gotten more modern,
Thank you.
and these are movies that are current and modern,
I've made an effort this year to do
and I appreciate it.
thank you.
I like it.
I listen when you guys
All right.
say things. I listen, and when I saw this, I actually saw this trailer well over a year ago.
I was about to say, how did you find this film?
I came across a website I follow, and there was just kind of this oddity. It was like, what is this trailer? It looks like a lost Charles Bronson trailer, but it's modern. Like, what is this? And it just kind of disappeared. But whenever I kind of see a movie that I think we could do, I keep a little list.
Yeah.
So I'm going through my list, and I come across Death Kiss, and I don't remember. I'm like, what is that? And then I look it up, and I'm like, oh, that. And it's out for rent now. Did you guys rent on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We all rent on Amazon. Yeah, so let me talk about the people involved, and then I'll give you folks a little better idea what we're dealing with here, because I've never dealt with anything like it. Written and directed by Rene Perez, who apparently is no beginner when it comes to imitation cinema. In his filmography, he also did American Cowboys vs. Aliens, which looks very similar to the Cowboys vs. Aliens
Okay.
movie, and a movie called The Punished, which basically featured the Punisher. But he wore a skull, Punisher-shaped mask, and a black outfit. So kind of like the Asylum studio makes all those rip-off movies of Hollywood.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of doing the same thing out there. And from the trailers I've watched, a lot of the same cast. It's all the same bad guys from tonight's movie were in all these other movies.
Oh,
trailers.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The little girl from this movie was in every single movie. Yeah, he's got a little ensemble. He's got a little thing he's doing. I'm not gonna fault him for doing it.
It's up on the freaking Amazon for rent, dude.
It is.
Go on, Renee.
So I don't know the official backstory involved here, but apparently filmmaker Rene Perez found this Hungarian actor named Robert Kovacs.
I think he's in Texas.
Who looks, well now,
Now he is. Yeah.
But he looks fucking identical to a middle-aged Charles Bronson.
No, to like a 50s. Well, of course,
Yeah.
it's hard
Like
because
Death Wish 2. era.
Bronson looked like he was 50 when he was 20.
But I mean, he's a little bit buffer. He's in a little better shape.
yeah.
But I mean, he looks. It's not like he kind of looks like Charles Bronson.
It's pretty.
He
cool.
is Charles Bronson.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I mean, if you like, we just walking down the street and he passed by, you'd been like,
Are you Charles Bronson? Yes. It's close.
So
it is super close.
So he found this Hungarian actor, Robert Kovacs. Immediately, was like, I got to make a movie with this guy, and he cast him in a Western, basically playing Charles Bronson. Even down in that one, which I watched right before this one. That one is available on Amazon Prime. I'll talk a little bit more about it later.
Okay, because I almost thought about checking it out.
For that one, I wish they had done this in this one, but they actually dubbed in like our little lame Bronson voice. They actually did that on that one. So he did talk like this. This one, they tried to not be totally obvious about it, but I mean, that's obviously why he's there. I don't get why you wouldn't go all in. So
stop typecasting me.
After
I'm
the
an actor, damn it.
After the Western, and seeing that this Perez guy was going to keep putting him in movies, Kovacs wisely changed his name to Robert Bronzy. And they would go on to make this movie together a year later, and thank God they did. You mentioned when I sent you here we're doing this movie,
Yeah.
and you hit play.
Yeah.
You didn't know you had no idea what you were getting into.
I had no earthly idea. Once I saw him, like literally the first thing I saw was the trailer or not the trailer, but the poster art that's up on when you select the movie. I'm like, holy shit, that dude looks like Bronson. And then I was like, I hit play, and then I was like, he was so convincing. I was like, wait a minute, did they like try to dub footage from like old Bronson, put him in
You think it's like
is it like a
event, like with the
CGI
Captain Marvel,
thingy?
where the young Samuel Jackson kind of like,
Yeah.
is it computers?
And I was like,
What is this?
But then when I heard the voice, I was like, oh my god, this is a parody. This is absolute parody.
You think
This
they're gonna make fun?
they're
of
going to
it?
make fun of all the whole genre.
Yeah,
And then it kept going. I'm like, oh no, this is a real movie.
yeah, it is. It's an action movie that just happens to star Robert Bronzy.
Yes, it does.
I mean, I was sitting there.
Did
Just
you know-
the
did you know what
opening
you
of
were
this
getting-
film.
Did you know what you were getting into?
Hell no. I mean, you sent us the thing, and I glanced at it, and then when I actually started the film, I'm like, Death Kiss, because I'm looking at the guy going, I don't remember a Bronson film.
So you
Death
actually thought
Kiss?
he was Bronson?
Yes.
That's how
It's close.
If they had
seen-
literally just shot this with a grainy filter. Oh
There-
my
yeah.
god! Like it was the 70s.
There's literally like only maybe 2 angles that the guy doesn't look like Bronson that you could tell that it's a different guy.
Yeah.
But man, straight on quarter
Yeah, there's
angles.
a couple over the shoulders where it's kind of got a little turkey neck.
Yeah.
like a little fatter neck.
But outside of that, man, you put the camera in front of him, get him off to a quarter angle, and the dude looks just like Bronson.
So, of course, we had to do this movie. We've done Death Wish 3 on the show.
Yes.
We did Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yes.
He comes up quite often in just our film discussion.
Yes.
He was such a unique character in American cinema.
fake Bronson.
Now we have fake Bronson.
And I'm glad we do.
Me too. I'm thrilled that we have fake Bronson. I love Robert Bronzy. All right. Well, before
I want a shirt that just says Bronson.
Bronzy. I'm sure we could make that happen. Real quick before we get into this this quick little action movie, still getting weird changey stuff on the.
Not really. It's
Settle down a
giving me the same kind of profile. I still get a lot of the nice woodsiness to it. I still get a little bit of sweetness on the retro hell mixed with just a tad of bit of pepper.
Getting your breadiness now.
There's a bit of breadiness into it.
I'm getting the
and
breadiness.
That's pretty much it.
It kind of goes with the pepper on the nose. Just it's there, and a little bit of earth and cedar on first on the palate, and then it goes into breadiness and a little bit of cream.
Yep.
It's a really tasty smell.
It is.
You liking it too?
Again, I miss the cream.
You always miss the
It's
cream.
delicious.
So we start things off at a house in the middle of the night where a huge pimp stands guard outside. He's searching his pockets for a lighter for a cigarette when a match is suddenly lit from the darkness nearby. The flame reveals the vigilante.
Bronzy.
Robert Bronzy, who, as I mentioned, looks identical to Charles Bronson, around Death Wish 2-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe. The pimp tells the vigilante that he's got a young girl inside finishing up with another customer. How young? Too young, man.
Young,
Too young. You're going to
too
get
sweet.
Too sweet.
Once you get this, you're gonna be spoiled.
Well, that's all the vigilante needs to hear. He bashes the pimp over the back of the head with his pistol and hogties him, and then he goes in the house. He finds an indeed very too young girl crying on a dirty mattress. He calmly takes a seat next to her, and when the John, who just had sex with her, exits the bathroom... Cody, is that right, John?
It is correct.
The John exits the John.
He does.
That is correct.
And is promptly shot in the balls.
He shoots him right in the balls, the vigilante does, twice. It's weird. The guy falls down, and then it cuts back to Bronzy, the
shoot you
vigilante,
again.
and the guy's already popped up again. Like, I think that was a
Bad editing.
bad editing. But he basically shoots him in the balls twice.
But I will say I'll forgive that bad bit of editing because the frame of him sitting in the chair with the girl crying
It was
in the
a nice shot.
foreground. I can understand why that's your poster because that was a beautiful, beautiful frame.
It
Well,
was.
like I said, if that whole scene right there, like I said, just the opening, if they had just done it in like grainy film,
You
like
would have thought it was a lost Charles Bronson movie. Yeah. So after shooting the guy in the balls twice, our hero then walks outside and shoots the pimp twice in the back on the ground, and then walks off into the night.
He doesn't even hesitate. It's
No.
not one of those
It's like
he just like walks outside and he's not even really looking at him, like just dead.
he's not a man of few words. He's a man of no words. He doesn't give like pray to your maker. No,
Nope.
it's just shoot him twice. He shoots everybody twice.
Make
Once-
sure.
Didn't stop. All right, checklist. What did I forget to do? All right, shoot the pimp.
Once to kill you and once for fun. We then cut to a radio station where DJ Dan Forthright, played by the
course, Forthright.
forgotten Baldwin brother Daniel,
The one who looks most like him. Like
much
Alec.
like Alec, yeah.
And talks like him.
He's got those eyes and that voice. Well, they all have the voice. God, what did their mother smoke when she was pregnant with those kids? Some sort of the best, sexiest voices in the history of voices, right?
Yeah.
You don't like the Baldwin brother voices?
I mean, that's fine. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, he's in a dark...
I've heard sexier.
He's in a dark radio station ranting hardcore on Justice Radio about the plague of child sexual trafficking in the country. He has a problem with legislators passing laws about revenge porn to protect promiscuous women from who have clever online social profiles filled with memes and bikini pics, while kids are being abused as young as the age of 11. He's all fired up about this. He's like, you know what? You're passing all these laws to make sure that skanks, can sue their ex-boyfriends for releasing their sex tapes. Meanwhile, people are having sex with 11-year-olds.
I was beginning to wonder whether he was reading from a script or if he was just talking normally.
There's a lot of like, is this impromptu? Where's this going?
Just tell us what you think. We're going to turn this camera on. Go right ahead.
Well, he's all fired up about this sex trafficking and what's really the right thing to go after here. But turns out he's mainly fired up, seemingly, because he got a traffic ticket that morning for not coming to a complete stop on an empty street.
Well, he's basically talking about, and a lot of people have this conversation about cops, setting up their speed traps, spending a lot of time on
funny.
that.
He's like on this crusade, like against sex, but then it's like, and these filthy cops who
Even
just happened
today,
to give me a
coming
ticket.
to this show,
Nobody even comes to a stop at that stoplight. It just seems really
just a hard-working American man.
How dare they give him a ticket while drugs are being sold a few doors down from his house and the cops do nothing? He told the cop, I'm going to do my best Baldwin voice, I'll gladly take your ticket. That's a horrible Baldwin voice.
Too deep. Too deep.
Canteen boy, I'll gladly take your ticket if you go down there and bust those crack dealers. Of course they won't. They're cowards. The police are cowards. They do nothing. Society's going down the tubes fast, he says. And Dan Forthright asks his listeners, if not the police, who's going to protect us? Which takes us right, of course, into the opening credits montage, where we tag along with the vigilante as he walks through the city streets in the daytime, observing homelessness and looking out for any sign of trouble. He's patrolling the streets. Man, I'm going to say this. I think you know where this is going. I'm going to say it now early on, and I'm going to say it very loudly. I love this concept of film so much, it makes my brain box hurt. It literally... I love Robert Bronzi. The rest of the movie can suck balls, execution standpoint. Just the concept alone of I found a guy who looks like Charles Bronson, and I'm going to put him in a Charles Bronson movie and take it seriously.
I'm waiting for Death Kiss 2 at this point.
Yes, I'm on board.
Yes, me too.
You'll get my money.
I love it. You know, you're talking this opening credit scene, and then out of nowhere, Death Kiss. And it's like the Gears of War logo.
Yeah,
from
it's
the
like a weird skull, and
I'm like, there's so many ripoffs going on in this movie all at once.
All of a sudden, the vigilante's putting on the Punisher tights. Come on, Renee, slow down, Perez.
No can do.
No.
Can do.
After those credits, we head out to the country where Anna and her handicapped wheelchair-bound daughter have recently moved to avoid the constant crime of the inner city. The coyotes out here may have killed their cat, Mr. Fluffy. Tut. That had to be difficult for you. I'm sorry.
But Bronzy's going to take care of those coyotes.
But Anna will take dealing with coyotes over crackheads trying to break into their apartment every night for sure. They check the mailbox, and there's a brown envelope filled with cash inside. They can't figure out how whoever's been sending them this cash for years was able to track them down now that they live all the way out here. She's been getting these envelopes, these mystery envelopes full of money for years, and she has no idea where they're coming from.
Nor does she seem to not say, this is wrong, I can't accept this money.
Well, everybody's got secrets in this movie, X.
That's right.
And that's when we see the vigilante watching them through his telescope. Perhaps you'd like to meet the new Mr. Fluffy in my underpants. No, there's nothing pervy going on. He's just watching them from a safe distance, and he drives off. No creepiness.
Yeah, but it's really hard because he's actually does such a good job of giving that Bronson look. Is it supposed to be sexual? Is it evil?
Like,
is it? He's
are
just
you
staring
a
like.
creeper? Now that would have been cool.
He's the only guy I've ever seen, though, to stare through a telescope with sunglasses on.
Well, what would be worse is if they actually just did that whole thing with the telescope that took it away and there is no telescope.
No, his intentions seem good as he's watching them. Tut, you know who else's intentions are good?
Whose intentions are good?
Dirty Fabian and the fellows over at Drew Estate. And if I'm name-dropping Dirty Fabian, then you know I'm fixing to talk about some coffee-infused tobacco cigars.
That boy loves those coffees.
Man, he does. Tobacco Special cigars are made by the almighty Drew Estate, the same folks who brought you Liga Privada, Undercrown, Nica Rustica, and more. Your choice of either extra dark Connecticut broadleaf or natural Connecticut shade wrappers envelope a Sumatra binder and Nicaraguan Criollo filler leaves. Before aging, the cigars are slowly infused with Nicaraguan estate-grown coffee, probably in hand-selected bales. The smoke is medium to full body, depending on the wrapper. Its rich tobacco flavors commingling with the unmistakable aroma of coffee and a little sweetness. I'm a fan, and you will be too. Seek them out. If you like coffee and you like cigars, you can't lose.
I do appreciate me a tobacco, man. You had one at the Vegas, the new cold brew. What'd you think of that?
Well, that's the La Isla del Sol Maduro.
Oh, okay. So that was like a totally different.
Yeah, it was totally different, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the...
I just heard coffee, so...
I'm a fan of the Connecticut...
That's how good of a marketer I am. I'm just kind of like, hey, yes, coffee, obviously tobacco.
Well, when it comes to coffee, Drew Estate, I mean, you've got the La Isla del Sol, the original.
Yeah.
You've got the La Isla del Sol Maduro, which is like they call their cold brew, which was awesome. It might be my favorite one they do, but I'm also a big fan of the Connecticut tobacco. And the Negra. The Negra is pretty strong. It's like, dark coffee. It gives you real punch. But they're all tasty. Seek them out. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on that Negra.
Like
get that Maduro thing going on.
Well, real quick, while we've introduced our main characters, while I light my cigar, Tut, you're about halfway through, maybe not even quite. You're slow burning smoke.
Yeah, it actually is. And what I like is that the transitions have kind of stopped. I mean, they kind of taken a back seat. They're like, all right, we hit you with a lot of flavors. This is our profile, and this is where we're going to sit for a while. I really appreciate it. I will say, having said that, the sweetness kind of comes back around that halfway mark, just ever so slightly across the palate. It's not there.
I haven't had any sweetness since the cold draw. That's what you're talking. That finally makes an appearance.
To me, it does. So I'm picking that up about the halfway mark. But outside of that, man, you get that nice little breadiness on the back end. It's just kind of
getting the cream. I'm getting a little more earthiness
and cream,
but it's not like a Nicaraguan.
Right.
It's a much more mild earthiness, and man, that nice cream, a little bit of that cedar, still some pepper on the nose, and like Tut said, that breadiness, and all those flavors are kind of just interwoven like a rope. They're just kind of, just like you said, they're kind of in the same pattern, just over and over, and man, it's nice. You get a nice aroma coming over here too.
Man, I'm sorry. I just kind of had a fantasy of me in the game Tropico, where you're a Caribbean dictator building your island, and people calling me El Presidente. It was quite nice. With some nice little Cubano music going on.
See, I see Tut like the El Presidente and Commando, where he's trying to take over the country, and he's got like 4 gay American soldiers helping him out with chainmail vests on.
Well, that's pretty much the way it would be. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, it'd be us.
Cody with the chainmail mesh shirt.
Tuttle, the young girl's neck is like one butter to my knife. What young girl? She escaped. I'm sorry, Tuttle Presidente, I'm drunk. I chugged 3 cervezas this morning.
Nah, that tracks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This coup's not happening, is it?
All right, well.
No.
I don't know. Keep Arnold off the island. Can we do that? Can we just do that?
All right, and the beer is man, I think it worked great with the.
Oh, it's a great pairing because it doesn't interfere with the cigar.
Yeah, I don't love the beer, but it's smooth and it's got some nice taste to it.
It does, and it's so weird because I mean, you know, they said it's, you know, they say barrel aged, and it's not a typical what I think of as when someone says barrel aged.
No, it's almost like a little more malty lager.
Well, I think we're probably like kind of used to craft beer barrel age nowadays, where they like try to hit you in the face.
Yeah,
with
it's just dark, just blood of the earth.
I don't think that this kind of does that. I think that it's very much
Dougal McFirestorm knew what the hell he was doing.
Gun sharp.
I knew it was something badass. All right. Okay, we'll come back. That night, the vigilante goes for a walk, as he does every night, and he's almost immediately approached by 2 drug-dealing thugs who demand to know how much cash he has on him. $6.
What?
$6?
What, $6, old man?
6 bullets. And he just, there he goes. He's off to the races.
I'm sorry, I laughed. I did. I was like, this is fucking Bronson.
He shoots them both.
Good.
And then he goes over and shoots them again. That's his trademark. Well, they're already dead on the ground. Lots of prop blood here, as well as a lot of CGI blood splatter.
I didn't like the blood splatter,
Boy,
the CGI
everybody
stuff.
who gets shot, there's that CGI gets on the fake blood on the lens. It's Expendables level bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It almost seems like there's probably a plug-in you can do now where you can just go nuts with the CGI
there's some
blood.
Effects. I actually used it in Hipster.
Well, we're not making movies.
But, you know, that was a no-budget film.
Yeah, we didn't have Robert Bronzy in our movie.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of thinking. I was like, I would be curious.
Didn't know he existed.
I'd be curious as to what the budget of the film was, because when I see all that fake CGI blood, and it was really bad CGI blood. I mean, it's like they didn't even try to make it look good.
But they did mix in a little bit. If you look close, there is some real blood underneath, but they covered it up with too much digital stuff.
I was too distracted by the CGI, and I was just kind of like,
it
literally looked. No, I'm not. No, I'm not even going to go there. I was about to say it looked like I did the CGI blood on this film. No, I would have done better.
It does. Boy, it would have been nice with practical stuff.
Or at least just dial the fucking down.
But it's Robert Bronzy.
When you see the bullet, it's like the blood doesn't follow a pattern. It's just a blah.
Exactly.
It's not like it's in reaction.
It doesn't look like it has a point of origin. It's just effect.
Yeah.
Throw paint on the screen.
Yes, exactly.
I'll give you a point of origin. Well, the vigilante takes the dead men's jewelry, cash, and one of their cell phones. He walks over to a nearby trash can fire, because some cities still have those apparently, where he tosses the jewelry into the fire, pockets the cash, And just as he's about to throw the cell phone in too, it receives a text message from their drug mule who's arrived at the airport early, and he tells him he really needs them to pick him up fast because his stomach is hurting and he really needs to crap out all the drugs in his system before, I got to get this shit out of my body pronto. So he texts him back, "Be right there." Did you guys read the text in his voice?
Yes.
"Be right there."
Be right there.
The vigilante then heads to the airport where he finds a heavyset dude sitting there waiting to be picked up, constantly looking at his phone and clearly struggling with some massive intestinal problems. You can hear the bubbling sound from like the parking lot. I mean, like, everyone should be hearing this. The vigilante walks up to him and knees him so hard in his belly that the drug balloons burst and the guy starts puking up white stuff all over the place. Heroin, yes?
Yeah.
Probably.
Cocaine, most likely.
Okay. So the guy's just sitting there with white foam splurting out of his thing over the airport. Security gets called. Everybody's going crazy. The vigilante calmly strolls off as security swoops in. Nobody ever suspects a guy in a nice suit.
No.
Even one who looks just like 1970s Charles Bronson. Like, nobody has that hair and mustache anymore except my father-in-law.
Not even like a modern updated.
Who could have done this? Not the stern-looking gentleman over here.
Not even like a modern updated tie. It's like the
got a
70s
huge
fat
knot.
tie.
Sir, do you see anything? No.
No.
All right, go on.
But I will say that I have a problem with this kill. He doesn't know that mule's story. They could have his little girl,
He
and
didn't
he
kill
might be
him.
trying to do it.
He didn't kill him.
Yeah, he did. He knew what he was doing.
He kneed him in the belly.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew exactly.
Yeah,
what he was
Bronzy knows exactly what he's doing. Bronzy doesn't make mistakes.
No, he doesn't.
The next night, our radio DJ, get this, is lecturing his audience on keister bunnies. It's a good name for a band. AKA drug traffickers who shove baggies of drugs up their keisters, like the poor bastard we just witnessed.
I'm glad he said this line because he was like, you people probably don't know what that slang for, and why would you? And I was like, oh, thank God, because I didn't know that slang.
You never heard of keister bunnies?
Never heard of a keister bunny.
Yax, were you familiar with keister bunnies?
No.
I mean, I didn't know what a keister bunny was. It's a drug dealer who shoves drugs up his ass.
It's a mule. Now, I've heard of mules,
Yes.
but I've never heard of...
That should have been the name of that Clint Eastwood movie, The Keister Bunny. Somebody should find a Hungarian Clint Eastwood and put him in movies.
Put him and Charles Bronson together?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dirty Harry meets Paul Kersey. Death Harry. Harry Death.
Harry Death. Oh, that's what it is. That's Harry Death.
Yeah. Starring Dougal McGonaghan. I'm here for my trim. Now you're dead.
Will that be the Brazilian?
All right. Why is it so quiet in here? Oh, Fritz.
Oh,
Fritz. Like, why am I'm saying creepy things about Charles Bronson getting a bikini wax? I can hear my own voice very clearly.
it's so disturbing, huh?
Well, the DJ reveals, fourth night reveals that the guy in the airport was dead on arrival at the hospital. A happy accident, he calls it. And of course, there were no cops in sight. They were out busting teenagers for pot and truck drivers for smacking their wives around.
This dude's got...
While a violent drug dealer entered the city unchecked. Man, this guy's really bitter about that traffic ticket.
He is.
And did you think he was going here like where he had slapped his wife around? Like,
Just the other day, coming into this show.
guy's dealing drugs down the street from me. I give my wife one good smack, and I'm the bad guy. That's kind of what it
That's kind of what it was,
That's kind of
man.
where he's coming with all
He
his
was like,
criticisms. Like, don't look at the crimes I'm committing. Look at what they're committing.
I just wanted to sit there and say, Mr. Baldwin, that most crimes are known, and they are usually do originate from domestic violence.
He's an actor he's reading lines.
I didn't know that.
Was he? Was he reading a line? I kept
Hey,
wondering.
that's good acting. That's good acting if you got to ask that.
I will say that
I'll give him some props.
I will say that if you're a cop, you're going to be pissed at this show.
He goes on to say, here goes, cops avoid taking on drug dealers because it keeps them out of harm's way. They may dress like heroes in their uniforms with their shiny little badges, but they're just a bunch of America-hating cowards. That's one take, I guess.
I guess.
Shouldn't the husband and wife who choose each other and choose to give each other black eyes be less deserving of rescue than a sex slave chained to a bed? In other words, anything I do, there's sex slaves out there. Go after them.
They should have actually put that in there. They should have actually like made him like.
No, they should have showed him going home at night, and the wife's like, How was your broadcast, honey?
I mean, they literally should have added
What's
that
for
line.
dinner? Lamb chops. Had them for lunch. Yeah, I kept waiting for this guy to like have an agenda, like he was deflecting, but they never go there.
Yeah.
Except for the ticket. You know, a lot of smart folks these days, boys, are calling for a total end to the war on drugs. But this guy obviously disagrees. He thinks it all is about drugs. And people rob to get drugs. People kill to protect their drugs. What do you guys think about this extremely complex and multi-layered issue as we sit back and get plastered on the extremely legal and readily available booze?
Well, I
Kind
do.
of a heavy
What
topic.
a segue, huh?
Kind of heavy topic for us.
I do enjoy my legal cigar for the moment.
Yeah. One day they'll be kicking down your door to get that out of your hands.
Oh, if they shoot my cat, I am shooting back.
Mr. Fluffy.
I'm sorry. If I see a bunch of
Bunch of blue helmets or whatever that's.
Well, no. Oddly enough, there was a shooting in Houston that I'm following where a group of plainclothes officers served a no-knock warrant in Houston, Texas, busted down this dude's door, shot his dog. So the first thing, they didn't announce it. They're not in uniform. All of a sudden, this guy's sitting there. His door gets busted open. Shotgun blast goes off. They kill his dog. It's Texas, folks. He pulls out his gun, starts blasting away, knocks down 4 officers. They get him. His wife comes out. They kill her, and then they shoot him as well. And, oh, yeah, they planted the drugs, and apparently it was a botched fucking warrant.
Yikes.
I'm just saying that there was... I don't know why. This story kind of gravitates to me for a little bit right now.
I mean, it's a very the war on drugs. I don't know. You know, it's not really our style to get into something too deep there. But I mean, there's a lot of, I think, good arguments on both sides.
We're 30 years into this now, 40 years into this now. Where is it? I mean, where's the dividend?
I mean, was it in a way Bronson fighting the war on drugs in the first Death Wish movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was before Nancy Reagan, wasn't it? Or just by a little bit?
I mean, I don't endorse drugs, and I just, if I'm looking at this as a bean counter, show me where the payoff is. Show me what have I gotten for my investment? Because I seem to be in the exact same situation I was 40 years ago, except I've spent trillions of dollars on this, given up so many freaking personal liberties in order to accomplish this. I mean, a lot of our Constitution gets eroded on the way of, law enforcement. And rightfully so. You want to protect the officers. You want to protect the innocent as well.
Sure.
But there's so many rights that we've given away under the guise of the war on drugs. I just want to see where the payoff is, and I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I see a shit ton of incarceration. I see a whole industry based off of incarceration. And I don't see any type of positive momentum on the streets.
Correct. Incarceration's a huge business, which is what it is, a private business. Makes a lot of people a lot of money. The fact that, for what's legal now in several states, there's guys doing life sentences for selling it in other states. It makes no sense. One positive thing happened recently. The Supreme Court, I think, turned around the seizure, the seizure of assets.
About fucking time. How come? Why weren't people just screaming
just
about
they
this?
did that? That's been going on in multiple states that have overturned that already.
But that goes to Tud's point about giving up liberties and giving up things that has been grossly taken advantage of under the guise of.
Well, it's an easy sell. I mean, if you sell and you're like, hey, we've got Juan Carlos over here. First of all, named Juan Carlos. He's a drug dealer, and we're going to seize his stuff because he got it illegally and he's doing a lot of harm. Everybody's like, hey, yeah, seize that shit. That's good. Well, then they take that same law and they, take over somebody else's dude just from a traffic stop.
Yeah. So that recently happened. I do have a big problem with the privatization of prisons, and the lack of looking into other options there, but that's a talk for another time. I think what the point is,
I always like it because people are like, when they get me at O'Brien's talking on this subject, and they're like, well, Tuttle, you're soft on crime. I was like, no, I'm for prison reform, but you do not want to be in the prisons that I reform to. I was like, if you do land in prison, it's going to suck.
Well, and our DJ is going to talk about that later. What his ideal picture of the new age of justice should be.
Okay.
But yeah, he's kind of all over the place.
Well, hit me, Baldwin.
He's
even though Daniel Baldwin looks creepy. I'm sorry, he does.
I thought he looked pretty good.
He looks like Alec, but I mean, just the Celtic tattoo, the weird
was all in
clover
shadows.
tattoos.
You couldn't even really make out what he looked like.
Why is he the only one why is he the only one in the studio? It's like
there's no like engineering. And dude, it'd be like if. Did you notice how many times he like slid his levels? Like
the funny thing is that they weren't even affecting anything. It was like there was one time
like he wanted to pronounce a sentence, like get this across. You push that lever.
Push it all the way up, but then there was this time where he's like, all right, and I'm going to make this point, and then they slide the slider all the way down, which means that you shouldn't hear anything.
You couldn't hear anything he said.
And I'm just
yeah,
like,
I don't know anything, and I knew that didn't make any sense.
I didn't know what was going on here. I didn't know whether they were trying to parody or bring about a Rush vibe, Rush Limbaugh, or an Alex Jones vibe.
It makes sense in the end, kind of, where this is an internet radio. This is an internet radio guy.
Right.
This is they're Alex Jones type dude.
It's their take simply on the whole, quote unquote, the right wing radio shock jock, just saying something politically charged, and they were basically, he's supposed to be making a point, but I mean, he's not really making a point because it doesn't really, like I said, it begins off like, this is so oppressive, and then he gives me a ticket. Like
that's not really weakened his. But a lot of those radio guys do kind of have these personal biases that they,
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, I thought he did a good job. I thought he was to have 5 minutes of just a guy talking in a microphone. I thought it was smart getting a Baldwin because they have great voices. I thought he actually delivered it pretty well. I hadn't seen Daniel Baldwin. He's done some good stuff. I loved him in John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yes.
I hadn't seen him in a while. I think he went through some kind of rough patch. I thought he did good. I thought he kind of. Now, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I wish they'd put him in some long sleeves. Like, it didn't make sense to me, the T-shirt and all the tats.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be this right-wing commentator, maybe dress the part a little bit. But maybe he just showed up on set that day. It's like,
yeah, I don't know whether he was supposed to be right-wing or not.
I think he's supposed to be just an
angry dude.
An angry shock jock. Is basically what he was.
I think so, too. Cody, I'm getting your cut grass again.
Has it come back for you?
It's there, but I'm like I said, it's like hay, but it's not, and I can't say that it's really strong, or I mean, it's just like a hint. It was there in the beginning.
I'm now getting a little bit stronger at the midway point on the pepper in the nose. It's starting to linger a little bit more, but I'm also getting the cedar through the nose now, and on the palate, I'm just getting nothing but that light cocoa, the breadiness, and then that cream on the back of the palate. Man, it's a really well balanced cigar.
It really is.
I like it a lot. And there's still, I don't think it's done, surprising me. Like, I got over a third here. I think it might be in for a little bit more. Tuesday Night Justice Radio, I'm your host, Dougal McCadigan. At the break here, everybody's getting all fired up about social justice issues, and maybe we'll get back into that a little bit later. But for now, let's continue with our story. The next day, the vigilante is observing Anna's country home again with his telescope, the doctor style, when he sees a homeless man digging through a recycling can, and then he steals her mail. The vigilante...
That's the wrong fucking mail to steal.
This is the wrong mailbox to be stealing from. The vigilante chases the bum down the street and beats his ass with his fists, but he chooses not to shoot him. It's the first time we've seen him take a pass on pulling the trigger.
Well, I mean, he's a homeless man.
The vigilante has...
He's trying to...
He has a moral compass,
somewhat,
I guess. But why did the homeless dude steal the mail?
Could be credit cards. Could be
I guess.
a random manila envelope filled with banknotes. The vigilante stuffs the mail back into her mailbox. That's not a euphemism.
Isn't it?
And Anna sees him, and she runs up the driveway. Despite the vigilante telling her, I'm only a delivery guy, she knows in her heart that he's the one who's been sending her money for years. Enough money, in fact, that she was able to get this house in the country and start a new life for her and her daughter. It's just a gift, he says, but she needs some answers to this mystery. I mean, for years, she's had no idea who's giving her all this money. So she convinces him to come down to the patio for a cup of tea. Here's as good as the conversation gets on the patio. Good tea. And then he looks around the backyard. Good property. That's it.
I love this, dude.
And it's all dubbed. It's all badly dubbed.
Okay, so it was dubbed. I wasn't imagining.
Oh no, it's like Kung Fu Theater.
This is dubbed.
Because that's one thing. I'll go ahead and I'll
Does he
speak
speak
on
in
the audio.
English? No.
There was such a lack of Foley, such a lack of atmosphere. It was all dialogue.
ADR.
Every now and then you would hear some, like, she would pour the tea. You would hear it way in the
Western
back.
they did together before this was all fake. The majority was fake studio dialogue, and it was so unbearable. But at least they were using that Bronson voice for him. And it was like, all right, I'm going to watch this. This was much better.
Yeah.
So he improved as a filmmaker in this. But you're right. It was you'd hear the tea pouring, you'd hear the creak of the door, but it was all.
Well, that's the one thing that's real challenging is that when you do ADR is that you have to try to make it seem somewhat natural.
Sure.
So the audio on this was way too clean. You could tell it was studio audio almost immediately because there was no atmosphere. There was no, birds. There was no, chirping. It was just it was very, very dry.
She asks him yet again why he's sending them money, and he finally offers up this. I do some questionable things. Sending you money helps even it out. I have to go.
Oh, okay. So blood money.
She tries to get a little more information, but he's out of there. God, I wish they'd used... I'm saying his lines in the Bronson voice, but his voice was much more... I've done some questionable things. This helps even it out. I have to go now. Like, they should have just used the same Bronson voice they used in that Western. It would have been so much better.
I haven't seen the Western. Is it more Bronson?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's like our voice that we do for Bronson. No. That's why I was like so excited about Death, because I'm like, oh God, it's gonna be, because he has a very kind of small role in the Western. Yeah. I was like, oh, I get a whole movie of this, and they went another route.
Was he just in the corner playing a harmonica?
No harmonica. No harmonica. So yeah, I do wish they had used a different voiceover, but if I'm gonna say something bad, I'm gonna say something nice here. I kind of like the actress playing Anna. Her name's Eva Hamilton, and while the dialogue she's given is kind of stilted, it's not the best dialogue by any means.
She's not bad.
She does her best with it, and I thought she came across real naturally on screen.
Yeah, I did too. I like the actress.
Because that would have, man, if she was lousy, that would have almost made the movie unwatchable, because she was
the chemistry. She was the chemistry.
She's a central
character. He doesn't have the chemistry, but
if you just cast a chick who would take her top off and that couldn't handle it, and I've seen a lot of those movies. Hell, I watched a half dozen of them a week trying to find us stuff to do on the show. I actually really liked Eva Hamilton.
No, she was.
I thought she was
good.
really good.
I liked her.
She doesn't go big. She's good. It's good screen acting. Very subtle expressions, and kind of the opposite of that chicken leprechaun that I hated. That was exaggerated. And she was very dialed down. It worked. It was exactly what it was. Ted. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you need to see that face he just made. It was awesome. So we cut to yet another rundown shack. A lot of these in this movie. That's
where the crime happens.
Where a leather jacket-clad crime boss named Tyrell is putting the shakedown on some chick.
Hello, Tyrell.
Oh, man. Tyrell is played by one of my all-time favorite screen presences, Mr. Richard Tyson of Buddy Revell of 3 O'Clock High and Kindergarten Cop fame.
Yes. And Boone. He was Boone the bounty hunter. He was the main villain on that. The guy with Jim Morrison, the wrestler.
Oh, the movie you watched with Jim. Oh, he was in that.
He was in that.
Oh,
He was the lead. He was the main bad guy in that.
Tell you what,
too.
man.
This guy gets around.
He doesn't sleepwalk. He brings it. He brings it. He looks like he's.
He looks like he hasn't slept walk.
They may have just found him in the shack. But that's good acting. That's good acting. I've always loved Richard Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
And he is basically playing the same character as Kindergarten Cop here.
Just
My boy's gone away.
He's played that same role in just
Yeah.
everything that I've seen him in.
Yeah, you don't see him in too many
got that-
romantic comedies. I love you. It's very.
but
He's got a charm to him. He's got his menace has a kind of charm to him.
he's had that menacing look. 3 o'clock high.
He's a
my
teenager
God.
in 3
And
o'clock
he
high.
just like he hated he hated looking at his locker.
He
Like
hated life.
just staring at
And
his locker.
and he sold it so well that you're
Nobody
like,
seethes like Richard Tyson. He's the king of seed.
exactly.
I mean,
He's the
kindergarten
best
cop.
singer
He's
out
looking
there.
through those
great
those
seether.
school windows. just
When Arnold has that nightmare in Kindergarten Cop, he looks in the window out in the rain, and Tyson's there just seething his ass off. Yax, am I using that term right? Seething?
oh, you
Yes.
are
Yes, you are.
He's a great seether. Is that what that band Seether was about?
Does that have Richard Tyson in it?
I think it was on bass.
Why didn't they just like put a picture of him on the cover?
Man, and you know what? We're talking a lot about him, and he doesn't fail to deliver. He chews up the scenery here like a seasoned pro. His biker henchmen, well, they're dressed like bikers. They don't have motorcycles.
I think this is supposed to be kind of like a rip on Sons of Anarchy or something, but there's no motorbikes
There's no
anywhere.
motorcycles, and they don't have patches or anything. They're just wearing leather stuff. His biker henchmen, I'm going to just call them bikers because it's easier, drag in some young punk. What a great actor Richard Tyson is. This kid's awful. Billy.
Yeah.
Who dropped the ball in killing a witness that ended up testifying against Tyrell's son, causing him to get a life sentence for murder.
It sucks being Tyrell's son, man.
My boy's gone away because of you.
No matter what movie you're in, don't be Tyrell's son.
No. And just for that, Tyrell's going to cut his little dick off, he says. Pulls out his big-ass knife.
I'm sorry, I do love the henchman here. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Don't cut his dick off, boss. I'll puke.
What?
Billy, scared shitless for his life, starts begging for another chance to prove himself that some stuff happened. I'm a stone cold killer. I'll kill for you, Tyrell. They drag him into another room where a tied-up man with a bag over his head is strapped to a chair. Tyrell coaxes Billy into beating the man's brains in with a baseball bat. Man, he hits that first hit finally because he's going to die if he doesn't do it. Then once the blood starts going, he just gives it a couple more whacks and just kind of gets into it a little bit. That's not CGI blood. This big red pudding starts oozing out of this burlap
It was
sack.
nicely done.
Yeah,
It
look
was
good.
nicely done.
You see, Tyrell, I did it. I'm a real stone cold killer.
And all the guys are like, you're a killer, man.
Yeah,
you're
man,
a killer.
Billy, you're a killer. I wish you were an actor. Dude, it's horrible. Only when Tyrell pulls the blood-soaked bag off the man's head, it's Billy's dad.
This hard.
Tyrell is cold.
He worked in a factory for 30 years. Good working man. Look what you did to him, Billy. C's there, too.
It's pretty fun.
You are a stone cold killer.
This whole scene is kind of off-putting, and I loved it.
Oh,
it
it
was
gets
just
it gets
really,
worse.
really good.
Tyrell chomping on his stogie doesn't stop there. He has some more of his men bring in Billy's brand new bride, this big-tittied stripper, in a mini dress. They rip her top open, and Tyrell tells Billy that after they rape her in front of him, I'm going to pour gasoline down your throat and burn up your insides. Yikes. That's when I wish the doctor was there. Doctor? Will Billy ever be able to pass gas again? Shit is getting intense, as Tut said. Shit's happening in this rundown little shack.
I actually could have done without the rape scene. I think that when you
Kill your own dad
your
with a
own
baseball
dad,
bat.
I was like, all right, we get it. This guy's bad enough. And it was an awesome, I mean,
Just kind of like, what's next? Like, they rape they rape the wife, and then like they bring in his dog. Remember Scruffy? Oh God!
yeah. Now you're going a little
At one
bit too
point,
much,
though,
man.
when they're
You're
raping
going a
his
little too
wife,
much, man.
Billy does grab the guy had kind of taken the gun away
grabs
from his
the
head.
gun.
He grabs the gun and points it at his head, like, please. Just what's next? It's like, this is your life. Remember your little girlfriend in second grade? Oh God, no, not Missy. She comes out.
Your dead mom, we dug her up.
Here's her grave. We're gonna rape her now. God, it's a 20-minute nightmare sequence.
gonna barbecue your dog. We're gonna take your school, your best friend from second grade.
Exactly.
Let me show you what we've got planned this afternoon.
Remember those merit badges you earned in the Boy Scouts? Into the fire.
No, they just start ripping him off. Just one by one. Toss them.
Yeah, Tyrell's the real deal, man. He thinks everything through.
Okay, I get it, Tyrell. I get it.
Well, just as Tyrell begins raping Billy's wife as his men force Billy to watch, the vigilante shows up and starts shooting everybody. He shoots Tyrell in the arm. He runs off. The one guy holds a gun to Billy's head. I'll fucking kill him, man. I don't know him. Shoots Billy through the neck, and it goes right through the other guy's neck.
I love it.
That's a great line.
I don't know him.
But like you said, it leads to these questionable things. Like, okay, he doesn't know this guy, so he doesn't know the situation.
To Tut's point, the guy in the airport, it could have been a father being held hostage, his family's hostage. I don't know him. Click, click, kablamo.
Those guys were holding me hostage. Boom.
Now you're dead.
Tell it to somebody else.
This was one of those scenes where I literally, it's like watching it, and like all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. I mean, I'm fairly certain maybe was he not like around the corner listening? Oh, they're torturing this bastard. I'll end his suffering.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Oh, wait.
And what I'm going to get to later is
Billy didn't actually go through with the murder, so he's kind of a good guy? I don't care.
And that's one of the things.
But you killed your father.
That's right.
That's one of the things at the end of this movie, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I love the fact that we never find out why he doesn't care. We never find out why he does this. That's just what I do. I got laid off from Circuit City in 1999.
No, it tells you why he's doing it.
No, because when the stuff that set this in motion, he was already doing it. You never learn why he started doing this.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
So he shoots the guy through Billy, and they both die. Tyrell, wounded in the arm, scampers off as the vigilante chases down a huge tattooed thug out into a junkyard. What's next is a 5-minute shootout that feels like 55 minutes.
Oh my God.
So much use of slow motion. The debatable use of the first-person shooter, where like you're looking at the vigilante's gun.
It was a choice, and I applaud this choice. I'm sorry, I do.
Did you like it?
It's aggressive. I say go for it. It didn't really work.
It didn't work.
Well, no, because first of all, you're showing the gun.
I applaud it.
You're showing the camera, but the gun's not pointing forward. It's pointing like to the side.
Well, that's because they're missing each other like crazy. Nobody's pointing at each other.
My favorite thing in this is like he comes running out from behind a car. The guy shoots, and then he goes diving back behind the car. Like,
oh my God! And that dive was so horrible.
What you will learn if you watch the Western that Rene Perez directed before this, his chase scenes involve everyone going in circles, everyone who's supposedly a sure shot missing, and no one's like really trying to get away. They just go in circles, and they just shoot endless rounds without reloading, and do a lot of diving. And it just goes on and
I'm
on.
sorry, that dive that Bronski does is just, oh God, man.
Is this the scene too where he does that slide off the hood of the car, like the Dukes of Hazzard slide,
Yes.
but it's like his ass cheek just kind of touches.
I'm just saying, Renee, look into a lot of the wire fu kung fu deals and speed up the frame just a little bit for this guy.
More slow mo. They just keep running around circles, shooting and missing for what seems like forever. Finally, as the thug, he finds in the trunk of an old car out there, he's hidden a machine gun.
My question is he's frantically running, and this whole time he's also plotting, I need to get to that Buick.
He gets the Buick, he gets a machine gun, and he starts just marching towards Bronski, the vigilante, shooting at him with the machine gun and missing, and a fully automatic machine gun, which he switches to semi-automatic, because he's like, and now he's just,
I can control this.
So the vigilante picks up an old rusty car door like a shield with his face fully
in the
window and starts marching towards him. And finally, he shoots the guy in the leg. This is a guy that's supposed to be like this master marksman. So the guy falls down in this big mud puddle, and then the vigilante marches over to him, and surprisingly, he doesn't finish him off.
Gut shots him.
Shoots him in the gut, and the guy's still talking, and you're like, why would he possibly spare this guy who's clearly big-time bad news? He's got machine guns, and he's raping women. Well, because Billy's wife, the girl who's getting raped, saw the vigilante's face, and he can't have that. So he drags her out to the wounded guy and makes her shoot him. You saw my face. You have no choice. So he puts this gun in her hand. I can't kill a person. I just can't kill a person.
This dude just raped you.
Well, the guy doesn't help his case any. Shoot me, you fucking whore. Shoot me.
You can't do it. You can't
do it. Right here between my eyes, you fucking whore. Okay. Or after a minute or two of that, anybody's going to shoot the guy.
Because he goes on for like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Look at you coward whore. Shoot me between the eyes, you pussy. Finally, she shoots him like 10 times. She shoots him in the dick.
She's like, and of course, she's like the worst shot because she like shoots him and he's like, oh, not my other leg.
No, she shoots him in the dick the first time.
Renee likes the dick shots.
And then 4 or 5 other places. So much CGI.
Shoot me right in the forehead. The forehead, please. I'm suffering.
Shoot me where I requested, you dirty whore. This guy.
You're only increasing my suffering.
I don't know what he was thinking. I think if he would have pled his case and been like, I'm sorry, baby, maybe he would have got somewhere. He didn't look like the smartest of characters.
Anybody with those snake bite piercings in the lip? No, go ahead and shoot them.
The vigilante then takes the gun with a handkerchief from her hand, preserving her fingerprints. Now I can trust you. And he runs off into the woods.
This made no sense to me whatsoever. I could have
basically anybody who sees his face while he's blowing people away, he makes them kill people, which is completely against. She did nothing. Now she's a murderer.
Yeah, I totally disagree with this one, and to me it didn't make a lot of sense. For one thing, all right, so you've just been raped.
I saved you.
I think, yeah, exactly. She's not going to turn him in.
I'm the one who saved you. Do me a swell and shut up.
Okay.
Or,
first of all, she's just been raped. She's not going to not shoot the guy. I think she would shoot the guy.
I kind of like that she hesitated. I think most normal people would have a problem with just like, okay.
I'm thinking if you've been raped, you're going to be like,
well, yeah, if I was raped,
you're going to go Marcellus Wallace on the dude.
Shoot a guy in the nuts, yeah.
I'm about to get medieval on your ass.
All right, well, that's a good point.
I want to get some hard pipe hitting strippers down here.
Well, I figured since he's in a mud puddle, I figured Bronski was gonna like just walk over and like step on his face and drown him.
That'd be cool.
Like,
yeah.
And or at least he brought her over. Was like, if you ever tell anybody, boom, I'll do that to you.
Blamo.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Do you want to?
That would require him talking, though.
Do you want to kill this guy? No. Stop.
Yeah.
I didn't like her killing the dude. I
didn't mind it.
I thought it was
this guy's complicated.
I just figured like he could have done without the 50. Do it. Kill me.
Do it, you dirty whore.
Well, the chase scene was 5 minutes of the same thing over and over again. So I might as well end it with the guy saying the same thing over and over again. Well, then, after all the mayhem, somewhere in town, Tyrell is shacking up at his ex's place, despite her objections. He swears this time he ain't running from the law, baby, but rather from some crazy maniac with a mustache who keeps chasing me, and I have no idea why. So apparently this wasn't the first time he saw the vigilante.
You learned that this
guy's been hunting him. She still wants to kick his ass out. She has a restraining order on him. Imagine that. You think this was Richard Tyson's real wife? They just dropped in on her place.
I'm tired of you seething outside my window.
Oh, no. We're going to get back to that.
I love this line. He tempts her with a bag of drugs. He's like, come on, baby, I brought you some goodies. She's like, damn it, Tyrell. You know how long it took me to get clean? Baby, a pressure washer couldn't get you clean. Yeah. And sure enough, she's like, grabs the bag of drugs and goes off to get high.
I actually like this scene.
But then this is what I love. After that, then he goes back to the window. Looks out the window.
I know you're out there.
That's a little vague. Of course he's out there.
Like he opens the blinds and his face is right there. You're right.
I'm thinking the sentence should have been like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been a better sentence so he could see more. But instead, he looks out the window.
I know you're out there.
Duh.
Obviously.
I'm just like.
All of a sudden, in the distance, you hear this. Yes, I am. I'll find you someday. No, you won't. Tyrell whispers,
I'm not out there. I'm in here.
I know you're out there, as he looks out the window. And of course, he's right, as we cut to another montage of the vigilantes strolling around town. I thought the director did a really nice job of expanding the look and feel of the movie by filming the vigilante, like walking across huge suspension bridges in front of like the big courthouse, a bunch of like illuminated, cool looking like nighttime walkways. Like he made the city. You don't know what city it is. You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But he shot Bronzy walking across just really cool looking backdrops. It could have just been a downtown and him just in these alleyways all night. No, he put him in front of like the Capitol building.
I think they did a good job of balancing a single-minded revenge story versus an actual vigilante who's out there hunting people.
Well, and I think, quite honestly, any other movie that showed so much of a guy just walking around aimlessly, I would have a big problem with after about 2 minutes. But the fact that it looks just like Charles, I could watch him for 2 hours walking around with his hands in his pockets, just looking around.
Well, that's what I was sitting there thinking this whole time. Like, I'm waiting for like the Glenn Frey soundtrack to kick in. You belong to this.
Dude, it's Bronson's doppelganger.
Well,
I'm fine with it.
What is he doing on the bridge? There's no crime here.
By the way, where's
Halfway
Rancho,
over?
Texas?
Where's where?
Rancho, Texas. Do we know where that's at? Because that's apparently where Bronsky's at.
That's where he lives?
Yeah, that's
How'd you find out where he lives?
IMDb.
It has where his
It
house is?
it just said Rancho, Texas.
He is a horseman.
Yeah.
He does like do a lot of stuff with horses. I did find that out in my brief research.
I wonder what his day rate is.
Giddy up. Well, no, I'd love to make it. I'm gonna talk at the end, like who we'd like to like bring back from the dead. Like if we go to Hungary and find somebody, we'll talk about that at the end. Real quick, you're getting pretty close down there on the cigar.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all right about there. Anything new?
No.
How's it finishing out?
Very good.
Don't start.
It's a tasty cigar.
I'm not done yet.
This is the end. This is the end.
Actually, it's never really, and I haven't smoked enough Cubans to know exactly what the profile is or whether I should be expecting. I have smoked a couple.
There's different profiles,
but I'm surprised that the strength is not exactly punchy. I think it's a nice medium. Like right now, it's a nice medium.
It's a nice medium, yeah.
It's not a very strong cigar, but it's a nice. It's got a presence there to it. So to me, I guess I'm not really sure what I should be like measuring this to.
I don't think you should be measured to anything. It's a cigar, whether it's Dominican, Nicaraguan. I think I always treat Cubans. They don't have that kind of mystique for me. The mystique in Cubans for me is that you can't get them.
Yeah,
it's not as far as they're still farmers, they're still blenders, they're still rolled the same. I look at I don't look at it any differently than I look at any other nationality as far as when I'm smoking it, what am I getting from it, and. Man, this gave me a lot. It gave me cedar. It gave me cocoa. It gave me breadiness. It gave me some cream. It gave me some nice pepper on the nose. A little bit of earthiness. You guys got some fresh cut hay. Like, that's a lot in a short Robusto. It's not 5 inches. 4.9.
Yeah.
Don't judge.
Too late.
Dan, I can't ask. And, I did have to relight it a few times because we're just gabbing, but the draw's been great. Good smoke production. The aroma's been nice. It's one of the better Cubans I've had in a long time.
It really is. The only thing that I compare it to was a Cohiba Bahinki I had, and that was a very, very fine cigar.
Where'd you get a Bahiki?
On the road, playing with Mark Winston Kirk.
I'd like to smoke a Bahiki.
It was a very, very, very fine cigar.
I'll need to know the box code. It was probably fake.
Well, if it was fake, it was a very, very fine cigar. I've had another fake Cohiba. I'm assuming it was a fake.
They're called faux hebas.
Because it was horrible. It was absolutely just, oh my God, this is bad.
Cohiba is the most counterfeited cigar in the world.
And I'm pretty sure that this was one of them because I was just like, there's no way that this passed any quality test whatsoever.
I really enjoyed this little Robusto.
I really did too.
It's a long smoking Robusto. I mean, well over almost an hour and a half.
A little shy of it, yeah, about an hour, but it's over an hour, so it's about an hour 10.
And
hour
honestly,
15.
I'll smoke on this for another 15 minutes. It's not getting hot
I'll smoke on this for another 3.
towards the nub. All right, let's talk price point. This is interesting because there's not a listed MSRP.
I have no clue.
It's not a listed MSRP. I'm basically going to tell you boys on the range you can get them on some legitimate internet sites, and then I'll tell you what I got them for on a trade site here in the States.
Oh man, I'm going to go
you first.
I don't know if they're listing them as authentic.
Oh, it's authentic.
And
I wouldn't bring it on the show if I wasn't 100% sure of their authenticity.
Man, I don't even know.
As a Robusto,
The most
15 Cuban pesos.
The most no American equivalent dollars. American dollars.
Sorry.
But Cigar Aficionado called this the most popular Cuban cigar in the market today. Whatever that means. It is though. I mean, I'm not a big Cuban guy at all, but I've heard of the Partagas.
I'm probably way off the mark.
I'm
but
turning into one.
I'm going to go 15.
15?
15.
Man, my first instinct was 13.5. I'm going to go 17.5.
You said 15?
I said 15.
You said 17.5? If you were to buy a box of these, I'm breaking the box price down to singles.
Yeah.
On some websites. They range anywhere on average from $7.32 to $8.36.
Yes.
I got these. We paid around $9 a piece.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That was excluding shipping.
Well,
even if you paid even if you went
and it's also
$9 a
difficult
piece,
'cause,
that's good.
I mean, most of the time I see quote unquote Cuban, or even if it's fake or authentic,
The risk
they're charging so much.
The risk is avoiding fakes. The fake Cuban market is a multi-million-dollar. I mean, it's just so proficient. You just have to be so careful. You have to find a trusted source, whether it be a retailer or there's a lot of boards online where you can find trusted people who know what they're doing. A lot of people go to Cuba, bring back boxes, but you gotta really trust who you're getting them from. And I found a trusted source. I paid about $9.
Yeah, I have a friend that's actually going over there in the next month, doing some doctor stuff, and he was like, "What do you want me to get you?" And I'm like, I am so ignorant of the Cuban scene. I don't know how to tell you, because he's not a cigar smoker.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you to spot the fakes.
Yeah. Basically, if you go to a Habanos SA store, run by the government, that is your one surefire way. But there's a lot of farms in Cuba that sell fresh rolled, cigars. I think young Paul, one of our pub friends' dad, that's what he brought us over. Was he went to a farm in Cuba and got us some fresh rolled, which a lot of people really like those. But then again, unless you know the person who was in Cuba and physically on the farm and got those,
even still,
hey, I got some unbanded cigars.
Sure you do.
Got to be careful. But for $9, shit, man, I liked it a lot. And to expand our repertoire with reviewing and stuff, this will not be the last Cuban we do on the show.
Excellent.
Excuse me as I tell my source to be on the lookout for this cigar.
It is a winner. And it's funny, the different sizes of the Partagas in that series, typically don't get rated as much. This Robusto seems to be the sweet spot for the blend. People just really go nuts, and I see why. You get a lot of transitions and a lot of complexity there in 5 inches. Tell me about it.
Yes, you did.
And I'm sorry, the beer works perfectly.
It does.
I'm loving that vanilla. It's got a little bit of creaminess on the front end too. The slight malty bite on the back end. Good aroma.
I said I'm just. It's difficult because I'm sitting here going, looking at it going, oh, this says, barrel aged, and this just is not.
It's not the American barrel age that we're
Right.
used to at all, which is refreshing.
It is.
And it's actually a refreshing kind of beer. Way to go, Dougal McFirethorn. What was his name?
Gun sharp.
Gun sharp.
Dougal McGunsharp. Okay.
It's like two words that don't go together. Gun sharp.
Gunsharp.
Is your gun sharp?
It is, unless I'm in a chase scene, and then I can't hit shit. They do somewhat kind of in these chase scenes. Every once in a while, be like, oh, wait, we haven't shown anybody reload in 5 minutes.
It is a revolver.
And sometimes when he reloads, the whole thing falls apart. And he's like,
No, it's just,
you think
like
he would
one
have
of those
the-
little back clips. that
no,
just
it's
kinda
not the
cracks
auto
out.
loaders, though. He's loading bullets by hand. He doesn't have like the
Oh,
speed
really?
loaders. No. You'd think he would have like a
like
belt of just those speed loaders.
It's like
Nope.
he
keeps it in his back
it's a
pocket,
single,
like-
pop out, peacemaker, like.
Here's
But
my
one
bullet.
time they show him reloading and the whole cylinder just falls off. He's like looking for it. I thought that kind of betrayed the mystique of the vigilante. Should be on top of that shit.
No.
All right. Well, later that day, the vigilante hand delivers Anna her money envelope. I didn't want to leave it in your mailbox. He sees she's in the backyard gardening, and he sees a big dump on the ground in her garden, and he asks if she bought a dog. When she tells him about the coyote that's been lurking around, he asks her if she has a gun, but she says she wouldn't even know how to use one if she had one. I'm going to go get something out of my car. He returns with a giant fucking case. Is that a keyboard case? Do you play piano? She
Yes,
asks.
I do.
Her ex played piano in a salsa band. But he says, sadly, no. He wishes he played piano. That was the only real insight we got to him. Like, I think he really wanted to play piano one time.
All of a sudden, it's like him and Jan Michael Vincent. He's out there in the pasture with the piano.
Why couldn't they show him in the city as he lingered by the piano store?
Looking in the window.
Longingly.
It's all right.
Give
Different
him some,
life.
Give him some depth.
A different life. Perhaps. I'm thinking about this now every time he talks to her.
Now I can see his
you
bronzy at the
imagine-
piano.
Can you imagine how awesome it would be if you could go through life like this dude? Like with your people in your life, like just answer them in such one-word sentences?
Yes.
Yes.
Matt, did you do that load of towels in the laundry? No. And she knows that's all she's going to get out of you.
Why?
Why not?
Just,
All right, we're not.
Just
That's how we're getting it.
I'm going to try that when I get home.
Yeah. Did you walk in drunk at 4 a.m?
No.
All right. And sure enough, she's asking about the piano, and she tries to get more, and he just stares a hole through her until she's like, you know what, why don't you just sit down and eat your lunch? As he eats his fresh garden salad, Anna decides to confess the reality of their situation to him, even if it means he decides to stop giving them money. It shows character. She said if she ever got to meet the person who was sending them money, she would tell them the truth. He may think they're innocent victims of circumstances beyond their control, and that's why he takes pity on them, but it turns out Anna used to be a party girl. Hey, now. And that's why one day she took her little girl with her to her drug dealer's house. And as she approached the front door, when a shootout started taking place inside, a bullet burst through the front door and lodged in her daughter's spine. The little girl will never walk again, and that's completely on Anna. That's her fault.
Now, shouldn't he kill Anna now?
It's all explained in the end, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
But he
you
should.
would think so. Everything we've seen, you would think so. But this is what he says. It was an accident. Funny how the girl with an amazing body and the skin-tight jeans gets a pass from our mustached hero all of a sudden. Poor Billy watching his wife get raped. I don't know you. I am the responsible for paralyzing this little girl. It was an accident. He's a little horn dog.
We all make mistakes. I think back now, maybe I shouldn't have shot Billy.
No regrets.
Hindsight 2020.
Why didn't I take those piano lessons?
I should have been a florist.
I could have been a florist. When she realizes that...
Actually, I think Charles Bronski would be a baker.
You think so?
Yeah. He'd be baking.
Delicious cakes, cookies.
Donuts.
Do you have any more of those blueberry croissants? No. You gonna make any more of them? All right, I'll come back tomorrow.
Can I get extra frosting? No deal.
No dice. You gave him extra frosting. This ain't over. When she realizes that he's not, surprisingly, that disappointed in her after all these revelations, she once again kind of warms up and like snaps out, and she's like, I have to know your name. Doesn't say anything. Okay, just your initials. K. That's it? That's all you're going to give me? Oh my God. I want this acting assignment. You're going to be the lead in my movie. Awesome. I'm not that good at memorizing. Oh, don't worry about it. You have 3 lines. Okay.
Do you know how to say the word no?
She changes the subject. She's not getting anywhere there. To the piano case. And he opens it and pulls out this big-ass shotgun for your coyote problem. This
I
then
love it's got the tactical, the ammo on the
side,
stock.
on the stock.
I love that.
This then leads us into another slow-motion montage of the vigilante teaching Anna how to fire the shotgun. We don't hear what they say to each other because the music's playing over it all and it's on slow motion, but she's clearly very into him. Every time his hand touches hers as he's having her aim, she gets a big smile on her face. And soon enough, she's blasting liters of soda to pieces.
It's like Death Wish 3 now.
Once she starts blasting those liters of soda to pieces, it's time for me to leave. She tells them, hey, I understand if you're not ready to meet my daughter yet, but you can come back anytime between the hours of 9 and 2 when I'm home alone. Sounds like that coyote's not the only thing gonna be eating her pussycat.
That sounds
Sorry.
good.
Sorry.
Are we back to that now?
Yes.
Be sure to shave down there. I like eating off a clean plate. No, he doesn't say that.
But he would.
He would. Totally would.
That's totally a Bronski move.
Bronzy.
Sorry.
We need to get bronzy shirts. Do you think we could get Drew Estate to have us bring Bronzy to the Barn Smokers with us? Just have him stand
That would
there?
be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Part of the TNCC.
So what do you do with him? Okay. Why do you guys need to bring this guy again?
All of a sudden, yeah, Gary's all of a sudden like, we got a line item for a Bronski. No, that's Bronzy.
I gotta fly this guy in from a horse farm in South Texas? That's right. Why? All right, well, we'll work on it.
He's essential to our performance.
Can you guys do the show without him? No.
Can you
No.
imagine going through the security check TSA with that guy?
Well, sir,
With those gun cases we take everywhere?
Sir, I'm going to need to
I'm
pat
a
you.
musician.
I promise, we're just filmmakers.
I would love to see him in a TSA line. Sir, I need to pat you down.
You know what? Just go.
It's fine.
You're good. Don't worry about it. Oh my God.
You go put those blue gloves on. You touch Charles Bronson.
You listeners have to understand, when we travel across country filming the Drew Estate events, all of our camera gear is in these huge gun cases, and the airport staff and TSA people always ask, we look like mercenaries. Well, not.
And we have the worst.
We look just like the Expendables.
And we have the worst excuse ever. Those are a lot of cases. Camera equipment.
Isn't that what Stallone and Statham said in Expendables when they go to that island?
I think so.
We're filming birds.
I think so.
We're photographing wild bird life. All right, makes sense. Only actually with us it does. Like we look like we'd be filming birds.
But it has like a perfectly molded fit for an AK-47 with a drum on it.
You know what? Why don't you talk to our fourth member, Bronzy?
They're good.
Birds. Okay, they check out. Well, late that night after he leaves her
Oh,
house.
I hope Rancho, Texas is like close to Austin, dude. We got to get this guy in.
I've actually seen an interview with him talking normal, and it loses a little bit.
Is it freaky?
Yeah, it loses a little bit of the luster. He's Hungarian. I mean, he can't speak English, but well, late that night, the vigilante tracks down a robber who he ends up killing in the middle of a rain-soaked soccer field. But the next morning at 9 a.m. sharp, he's dressed up all nicely and ringing Anna's doorbell. Again, not a euphemism. I was actually ringing the doorbell. Dude, killed a dude, and 2 hours later, he's at her door ringing the doorbell. She doesn't even answer the door this time. She just yells out for him to come on in as she waits for him in the bedroom. He steps inside, and she unbuttons her shirt. I didn't think we were going to get to see her boobies.
Yeah.
We did. Revealing her perky breasts. Were they perky?
Bronzy saw them.
Oh, he saw them.
And then he walked away.
I know what you want, she says, and I know why you help us, as she kind of sticks her chest out. But this just makes the vigilante drop his head and walk back towards the front door. She begs him, if you don't want me, tell me what you did that's so bad you have to give them money and make up for it. But imagine that. He ain't talking.
I understand.
He does say this. If you knew, you'd never want to see me again. And he leaves.
I understand why they did this scene, but to me, you didn't need it.
Here's the weird thing. In all the Death Wish movies, we always joke, and Charles Bronson movies in general, about these beautiful women fall in love with him. And like, why would they fall in love with this sourpuss?
Yeah.
Who's not attractive, and he's not charming and all that. I actually kind of got why she was... He supported her. He's given her child this life. And he's actually kind of got this kind of mysterious thing going on.
But I think
he's stoic.
I think you could have actually milked the romance part. But the moment she went full frontal, well, not full frontal, but the moment she started bearing it, I was just kind of like, they kind of lost the romance part of it, and I was just kind of like, all right, well, it's cool to see her boobs, but to me, this scene was kind of.
What do you want? She already made him a garden salad. She's tried everything else. This is like, what else can she do?
She got a cup of delicious tea.
I made you this card out of construction paper. Like, that's not going to sing to him.
Take his hand, put it on her breast. There you go. That would be the.
That's it.
That would be the.
He's not a big believer. He's not a big believer in foreplay.
That's all
Or
you
pillow
get.
talk. And he leaves. Well, he says that if she knew, she would never want to see him again. You know what I hope to see again soon in my humidor, boys?
What's that?
Tobacco Especial cigars from Drew Estate. The same folks who brought you Sweet Jane, La Vieja Habana, and much, much more. Available in your choice of either extra dark Connecticut broadleaf or natural Connecticut shade wrappers, they envelope a Sumatra binder and Nicaraguan Criollo filler leaves. Before aging, the cigars are slowly infused with Nicaraguan estate-grown coffee. The smoke is medium to full body, depending on the wrapper. Its rich tobacco flavors commingling with the unmistakable aroma of coffee and some sweetness. A perfect early morning smoke, and if you don't believe me, just try one for yourself.
I have been a fan of Nicaraguan cigars, so when I saw that
Are you a fan of Nicaraguan coffee?
I just started drinking it, and yes, I am.
H-E-B, our big
Exactly.
H-E-B, our big grocery chain down here in Texas, they have a very tasty Nicaraguan blend.
That's what I just switched to, and I like it.
It's really good.
I like
Bold.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever
it's got a
tried to do
real
it.
nice flavor profile to it.
I like it.
You can get that in your cigar, folks.
I know.
Tobacco Especial.
It's crazy.
Seek them out. Go to Famous, buy a box, put in TNCC 20 bucks off.
There you go.
You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
Yax, you need a follow-up cigar?
I do.
You do? Might have something in here. See what you can find. Remember Daniel
I've
Baldwin?
been milking this.
Oh, you're still going on the Partagas.
I'm still going on the Partagas.
Holy smokes.
I am not letting it go. It's nice. It is really, really nice.
You are always the first one to... Always the first one to end. This might be a first that we outlasted.
I
you.
have taken the words of Jose Blanco that I learned, 6 years ago now? Smoke it slowly. Do it docimo.
Yeah. All right, good for you. I'm curious to see your score on this thing. I think you're going to kind of go hard on this one. In a good way.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, we'll see.
Best cigar I've had in a long time. Oh. $7. Man. I like to defy expectations.
I keep them guessing.
Remember Daniel Baldwin, the talk radio host?
Yes.
It's been a while since we've seen him. Almost as long as Tyrell. That was like an hour ago since we saw him.
Yeah, he had a lot of seething to do.
He's off seething somewhere. And tonight, we rejoin Forthright on Justice Radio as he's ranting and raving about how stereotypes are actually okay, how racial profiling can make sense in the context of your own personal safety. A couple guys walk towards you as you're strolling through the park and they're dressed like gangbangers. They got tattoos. You have every right to feel threatened and to call for help before they make a move on you. He talks about how the criminal justice system sucks and we should resort back to public hangings and true eye for eye justice. What if we had a real champion for the innocent, he asks. Someone who took all the risks to keep us safe. Someone to deliver the kiss of death to the scumbags out there. Someone who could shoulder all the guilt and make the hard decisions so that we don't have to. Could such a person exist? And if he could, would you want him? Would you guys want him? How do you feel about... Are you pro-vigilantism?
Bronzy is something you don't like to talk about at your parties, but you want Bronzy on that wall.
When Tuttle's-
you need Bronzy on
When
that
Tuttle's
wall.
at his pool party, grilling his hot dogs and drinking his craft beer, he doesn't want to think about Bronzy out there doing the tough stuff. Would you be okay with a vigilante out there doing what Bronzy's doing?
Not if this guy is just blowing away people like indiscriminately.
Which he is.
Find out whether the guy's got like his daughter kidnapped and that's why he's muling.
But I mean, are you ever
whether-
going to trust a vigilante to do due diligence?
Well, that's
and-
the problem with vigilantes.
The Punisher does his due diligence.
He gets in that TV repair truck and follows them
Exactly.
till he's sure. And then he blows up their whole apartment building with a bazooka.
That's something the Houston
Yet
cops should have
miraculously
done.
only
If you're
blows
going
up
to,
their
It
apartment.
just hits their...
I'm just saying, if the Punisher can surveil somebody for 2 weeks and find out what's going on, so can the cops.
I think vigilantism has a lot of problems.
Yeah. But I see the draw. I think it's a very romantic draw.
Look back to like Death Wish 3, which we did on the show, where the guys are stealing the radio out of Paul Kersey's car.
Yeah, but that was like a...
What's it to you, sucker? It's my car. And now you're dead. I mean, it's a misdemeanor crime, and they're dead. I mean, you okay with that?
No, but if you lived in that neighborhood where...
Well, that was an extreme circumstance. It was World War III.
I was about to say.
You couldn't go to the goddamn 7-Eleven without somebody chopping off one of your legs. It's crazy.
No, I'm saying now, if you lived in that circumstance, then absolutely. Now, if you lived in... All right, like say if you lived in like one of the third world countries like Mexico, where people are like... It's not uncommon where all of a sudden there's 5 heads laying out in the middle of the road.
Right.
Would you be happy about a vigilante going around there? I would think that you would.
But isn't that kind of what the reverse of what they have there? Like, just people randomly go around just beheading people, but we'd have someone beheading people for us.
Right.
He'd be beheading the beheaders.
Yes.
That gets messy.
Wouldn't you be happy for
I
that?
mean, literally messy. There's heads everywhere. Man, I think we're better off without vigilantes. I'm going to go anti-vigilantism.
If
I'm 50-50.
vigilanteism is
If I told you
the
guys...
ideal is brought upon if your law enforcement isn't working well. Like Tut said, if you're in a country where it is not,
Or if you live in the Bronx in Death Wish 3 where there's no police.
But that's
Right.
because when law
you would
enforcement
accept
fails,
that and say this is a good thing because it does establish or help to establish some form of law and order and or in the concept of justice.
And maybe keeping criminals a little checking over their shoulder. There's a, there's not a district attorney. There's not a waiting line to get through the court system.
Right.
There's somebody out there who, if they catch you, they're actually gonna blow your brains out.
Well, let's look at also one of the draws and the romantic draws of the 30s and 40s mafia. That wasn't just a criminal organization just to be a criminal organization. They were a neighborhood organization as well. I mean, there's a lot of truth in the florist getting some young punks stealing his flowers. He goes to the Mafia Don. They rough up the punks that were stealing the flowers. That was a law enforcement aspect to itself. So, I mean, I can understand.
Well, I also
some
think
of
there's a
this.
line there between roughing up and shooting guys in the dick twice. I'd be okay if he was like, you stole those flowers. Come over here. And he like poked him in the eyes and like he's shooting him in the dick like a million times. That's different.
He doesn't need to. He's like using a 44. It's like
Those were my prize gardenias.
Even in Sopranos, don't disrespect the pizza parlor. And then he like hits him over the head with a bottle or something. He's not shooting his dick off. I like vigilantes if there's some boundaries. I want to regulate
an appropriate reaction.
I'm a typical Democrat. I want to regulate the vigilantes. Let's tax them. Let's give them a lot of rules. Tell them exactly what they can and can't do.
Vigilante force.
Well, guess what? If it sounds like Dan Forthright on Justice Radio was talking about, because every time he talks, it's about something the vigilante just did, whether it's the sex trafficking or the Keister bunny. It's weird. Everything he talks about, we just saw. Yet we're not seeing like in the newspaper like vigilante on the loose, or we're not seeing any news things about a vigilante on the loose.
Right.
But we're hearing this DJ address it all. If it sounds like he's talking about our vigilante, it's because he was. As suddenly the vigilante himself shows up in the radio studio.
I was about to say, sorry to interrupt, but if you want to be smart with this screenplay, they should have had some media clips, some like mainstream media clips that just kind of glossed over some of this
I thought so
stuff.
Until I remembered what movie we did, Gotti, with those horrible media things.
Yeah.
Like the People magazine shoots up on like the way it was just horrible.
Well, I think
vigilante on the loose.
I think you could do it a little bit better.
Because we don't know what city this is. We don't know what even time period this really is.
Yeah.
I mean, they have smartphones and stuff, but I mean, we don't know what anything politically or...
Yeah.
I kind of like that they just were like, we're not even going to go there.
Really? Okay.
Because then you would have to show him on the news, and there would be a camera at that soccer field where he shot the guy, get a glimpse of him, and they just avoid that altogether, which you kind of have to. Otherwise, if you start addressing it, then it's all of a sudden Bronzy is, wearing
the mask.
He's worried about stuff, and you can't have Bronzy worried about stuff.
Okay.
Mincy, the doctor, wrote a review for the new Death Wish Bruce Willis movie on our website. And remember, he said they took great lengths to explain like cameras everywhere and social media and how this guy could get away with it in the world of
constant surveillance.
You can't do anything without being seen. Okay, let the Bruce Willis movie handle this. Let Death Kiss just
be Death Kiss.
I'm okay with that.
I did kind of like when Baldwin said the kiss of death. I was like, "Ooh, no,
it's close. Well, Baldwin lights up a cigarette like he hasn't had one in a year. Did you see how sexual that was? He offers the vigilante one.
Do you want one?
Do you want a cigarette? I don't smoke. All right, hold on. Oh my God, it was such a intense inhale. And he tells his mustache friend, we're going to get caught sooner or later, but I don't care because we're doing God's work. He also tells the vigilante that he knows where Tyrell is.
I almost want to say, because his word choice there was very specific. It was, they will find out about us eventually. I almost want to think about, I'm kind of curious about who they are, because I don't think it was they as in media or public.
I thought it was the cops.
I think it was like they as in somebody else.
Oh, like Illuminati? Like he's that big of a conspiracy radio weirdo?
Yeah. I would like to explore that a little bit.
Okay. Well, with him you could have. I mean, those radio guys get pretty...
That's what they want you to think.
Pretty nuts.
Exactly. Google it.
Google it. Google Bronzy. See what you find. But yeah, he doesn't care. He's also, like I said, he tells the vigilante he knows where Tyrell is, but he's surrounded by civilians where he's hiding out. So you got to wait. Follow him and take him out so no innocence gets hurt. No innocent people get hurt. You understand? We understand.
Who's we?
Me and him. He opens up his jacket and taps his pistol, which is a direct Dirty Harry ripoff.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of, all right, I'm okay with it because it's Bronzy. But was it sudden impact?
Well, no. He did in Death Wish 3.
Her.
It was her.
It was her.
No, he's like, I'm waiting on my friend,
right.
Hildy. But you got to remember I think it was either Tightrope or Sudden Impact, Dirty Harry movie. He goes into a diner and it's being robbed.
Me and my friends.
We can't let you get out of here.
Who's
we, sucker? Smith, Wesson, and
my
me.
friend Smith.
Wesson and me, and he blasts him. Again, I really want someone to bring Clint Eastwood back from the dead and have him do a movie with Bronzy.
He's not dead.
Oh, really? Sure looks dead. Man, that's a great line, though. Me and him. Which would I'd have him say that line if he was in a porno, too. As Dungar Rappelstein. What was that guy's name?
Dougal Gunsharp.
Dougal Gunsharp. I see you booked 2 for a massage, Mr. Gunsharp.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Where's your friend? It's me and him.
Just the robes fall off.
He doesn't tip.
Actually, he's a big tipper.
10%. Non-negotiable. Speaking of Tyrell, who we haven't seen in forever. My God, he disappeared for an hour in the movie. We now... Sorry. Speaking of Tyrell, we now join... Terrible.
Yes. That's terrible.
We join him and 2 of his tattooed... He found some new tattooed cronies. Bronzy killed all the other ones. As they pour a bottle of barbecue sauce all over a street thug chained up to a tree out in the wilderness.
Apparently mountain lions like barbecue sauce?
Dude, this movie goes from like shacks out in the country to junkyards. Like there's a waterfront. Now they're up in like these snow-covered mountains.
That's so, okay. I will say that if there was anything,
it creates a world that you have no idea where they are.
True, but all right. So you get Baldwin saying, "All right, he's with people. You need to follow him to make sure that you don't get the civilians."
Right.
All right. You need to show me this because you cut from that to like the wilderness,
middle of nowhere.
And I'm like, what? What's going on?
He keeps himself surrounded by Girl Scouts and handicapped children, so you won't kill him. I understand. Next thing you know, he's just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a little bit disjointed, but all right.
Again, I don't care.
I just like the whole fact that I'm going to get the critters of this wilderness, the mountain lions and the coyotes. I'm going to entice them to eat you by pouring Casey's masterpiece on
it. It really is. It's one bottle. Like he couldn't bring out like a Sam size thing and like a jug and pour it over his head.
Guess what? One drop.
Let me open up this pack of Chick-fil-A sauce. Pour it over your head.
Here's some Whataburger fancy ketchup.
Not the spicy. It was kind of weak sauce.
It was
literally.
Weak. Yeah.
Yeah, they start pouring barbecue sauce all over this street thug chained up to a tree. Tyrell could just kill the man for stealing drugs from him.
He is chained. They got chains. They got straps. They got bungee cords.
Dude, he's literally strapped with every type of...
It's got like a truck tow cord.
I'm like, what is going on here? Like,
I don't know if the wolves could get to him. He's got so many goddamn cords around him. He could just kill the man for stealing drugs from him, but it'd be a lot funner knowing that the mountain lions ate him alive. Come on, boys, Tyrell says. Just the smell of this sauce will attract predators real quick. I'm already here. Dude, the vigilante jumps out from behind a tree. That's a good line, right? He pops out from behind a tree and starts shooting. He shoots one man dead. You think by now he learned to shoot Tyrell first. He's been waiting there. He could easily have... If he was good, he could have just shot 3 of them without saying anything. I have to announce myself. He could have just shut up and shot him.
Yeah.
Or
just say it and shoot him.
Yeah, he shoots one guy dead.
Apparently he's got access to guns. Could he have not gotten like a rifle and shot them from a distance?
A machine gun?
You got to get up close, Yax.
Did y'all think in a minute when he grabs a machine gun he was going to do the Die Hard? Now I have a machine gun. He looks at it all sexual like, oh yeah.
What is this?
Now I have a machine gun too.
New toy. Another chase scene then begins with Tyrell and his cohort chasing the vigilante in circles through the rocky, snow-covered woods. Much like the first shootout in the junkyard, everyone suddenly is a terrible shot. They shoot like 500 rounds and don't hit anything. Finally,
And also,
Dude, I just got to say that Western real quick that they made before this. Imagine these ridiculous chase scenes where they just go and start on horseback. Like no one just starts riding like to escape. It's just they go around trees and this guy goes like it all takes place within like an acre of land. It's crazy.
but I
We
also
only
want to
had
say,
an
I
acre
don't
to film on.
even
Classic
in the
Rene-
wilderness,
that's
you're
Rene
in the
Perez's,
mountains. The echo from 500 shots from guns going off is going to attract somebody.
Yeah, bears.
No,
No.
like everybody. Like you might hear a random gunshot in the wilderness.
It's
No.
machine gun fire.
But if you just start hearing, you better call somebody. There's
Wait a
like
minute.
I don't know what's going on over
You
there.
can smell barbecue sauce.
Is that Casey Masterpiece?
That is going to attract bears.
Let's get out of here. Do you think Tyrell went into the store himself and picked out the bottle of barbecue sauce, or did he have one of his underlings do it?
You probably went in there thinking, I know which one's best.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's all about the details.
I think so too. He takes pride in his little kill scenes. Boss, he's really tied up. You sure we need this other chain? Do it.
I got a
padlock number 20.
did new tattoo biker guy. Hey, I got that jug of Sweet Baby Ray's. I said Casey Masterpiece. We're seething.
I thought you said Heinz, boss.
Don't you know Stubbs is what attracts mountain lions?
This is up north. They didn't have Stubbs. Was it national though?
We should have had Sweet Baby Ray's though.
I've never heard of Sweet Baby Ray's. Is that the best sauce?
No.
Oh.
It is a sauce.
Your head sunk in shame. I felt like I was missing out on something.
Like that. No.
No, it's just sauce. It all tastes the same. I'll go with Casey Masterpiece. Well, finally, after all the shooting that goes nowhere,
Look, I got Frank's Red Hot. Mountain lions love hot wings.
the vigilante gets a hold of one of their machine guns and kills the crony, the new tattooed guy, while again wounding Tyrell in the leg this time. And as Tyrell spins around, Bronzy picks up a big rock and just throws it at his head and knocks him out cold. When Tyrell wakes up, the vigilante has chained him to a tree. Turns out the first time they encountered each other, all of a sudden Bronzy's talking. Why are you following me, man? Why you keep hounding me? I didn't do anything to you. Well, it turns out the first time they encountered each other was in a house where Tyrell was selling drugs. When the vigilante busted in and they all started shooting each other. One of the bullets went through the front door, paralyzing Anna's daughter. Didn't see that coming.
I did, but now I see why you were like,
There's no inciting. Why did he become a vigilante?
yeah, like
he was
why
already a
was
vigilante
he
at
at
that moment.
Tyrell's right? Why was he at Tyrell's house?
We
to
never
begin
learned
with?
like
All
my
right,
family was
gotcha.
killed. My daughter was no.
Yeah, gotcha.
It was just like he was.
I
Just,
got you now.
He was just a vigilante. That's what he decided to do one day. I still think he may have worked at Circuit City.
That's why I think that maybe
until she like
Baldwin has the key.
It just needed to get someone to step up and do it.
No, I think that he knows that he knows who they are. That they will find out. I think that there's a backstory there that needs to be explored in Death Kiss 2.
A prequel?
Or just an explanation of who they are.
I thought maybe he was
A sequel that explains the prequel.
I don't know.
I'd certainly watch it.
The way the logic I was going with is that he was that was his granddaughter, like because the husband's not there. I figured like maybe he got killed in something.
So he's Anna's dad?
no, he's
The father's dad.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
'cause he
father
wasn't
of
there.
the salsa piano
The salsa
players?
piano.
yeah.
He's that dad?
It's one of those things. He's a musician.
My
You never-
son
you never meet
Pedro
his
played a
parents.
mean salsa piano. Does salsa
It's-
music even use pianos?
Yes.
Okay.
I
don't know, that's what I was thinking. But obviously not.
That would have been something. My husband used to play piano. He was my son.
That's why I look longingly at the pianos.
And your tatas.
And why he refused sex?
That would be why it was. It's too weird.
Son had good taste.
Okay. Well, we never know. We have no idea why this guy does what he
And I like
does
that.
and
I
where he
like
came
that.
from, and I was totally okay with that.
Yeah.
He is a true vigilante.
Which is the opposite of Death Wish. I mean, Death Wish, he was a liberal, doctor? Architect who was forced into vigilantism by the killing of his wife and later the rape and killing of his daughter. Like, that was very spelled out.
Well, I assume that
this
if
dude
they
just doesn't...
I assume that if they have like a Death Kiss 2, they'll probably explore that. At least I would. I mean,
I don't think you have to. Just have him kill some more thugs.
you don't have to, but it's kind of interesting.
Do you think Bronzy's capable of bringing in some backstory? I don't. And I don't want it.
I have a past.
The minute Bronzy's like, many years ago, I'm out. I don't want to hear that.
No, I figured that would be his whole line right there.
You're
Where'd
right.
you come
He
from?
can do whatever he wanted to. As long as I insist if they do a sequel, they got to use one of our voices. Let me dub in his voice.
I just want him to be like,
Come on, Renee, make it happen.
why did you start this? I have a past.
That's it. We just want some answers.
Okay.
All right, well, he goes on to tell Tyrell, it could have been my bullet, could have been yours. We both deserve to die. My time is coming soon. But yours is coming now, or something like that.
That's why there's a they. They are coming after him.
He didn't say they.
I
He said
know.
my time is coming.
Baldwin said they.
I don't think there's Illuminati. I think he meant the cops are going to figure out who he is sooner or later.
Maybe.
You can't keep going around just shooting people in soccer fields and no one's going to see you. He just starts putting guns in everybody's hands. Go kill him. So you're... He's got like a
I
million...
want to see Bronzy's house
I
where he
like it
walks
too.
into the wall of guns that people have seen him. He's just 80 guns up
in
there.
Ziploc bags. Just everyone who's ever seen me, I've got him square to rights. No, you can't keep
So many
doing
good
that.
people.
I stopped a robbery at a Wendy's, but then I had to make all 15 customers kill people. And they ended up shooting each other. But I got these guns in bags, so I'm safe.
And a frosty. What? And one frosty.
And one Frosty.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, everything has to end sometime. The vigilante then sticks a photograph of Anna's daughter to a tree with Tyrell's knife, and then he picks up the barbecue sauce bottle. No, man, not the sauce.
I'm sorry,
come on,
but that
man.
bottle's not that big. There's
No.
so much sauce on
He's
this guy.
got so much sauce on that first guy. There couldn't be. I wanted to make the fart noise, which would have been hilarious.
I mean, Bronzy comes back.
Show him like hitting it against his hand. I can't get anything out of here.
I could just picture me and you
Give
in
me a
that
second.
fucking editing room. And I'm like, Cade, no.
More
no,
fart noises.
No.
Or would it be
I
funnier?
would
if
actually be
a
actually be
glass
awesome.
a glass bottle. He's like,
Actually, it'd be even better if you did that and made the fart noise. The guy's like, yeah, there's no more sauce. I brought my own.
another bottle. But dude, somehow there's another gallon
KC
of
super chunky.
another gallon of sauce in this little tiny bottle. No, man, not the sauce. Just take me to the police. Let law enforcement handle this the way it should be. The vigilante empties the bottle of Casey's masterpiece all over Tyrell. No law this time, just justice. As the vigilante walks away in slow motion, wearing his Bronson-style little black skull cap. Oh
Yeah.
my God, he looks like...
He's
I mean, he
totally
looks like an
fucking
sorry.
Charles
That
Bronson.
was
with that skull cap.
I was waiting for some grainy footage.
Oh my
That was
God.
Bronson, man.
It was Bronson. We see a very hungry wolf show up.
That, or if at least he would get on a white buffalo and ride away.
Let's go. No, we see a wolf show up, just like that. That barbecue sauce.
Man, KC brings them to the
I guess
yard.
Tyrell had done this before. This wasn't his first time out in the woods with barbecue
Nah,
sauce.
he knew. Tyrell thinks of the details.
He knew. We see this hungry wolf show up with its fangs showing, and we hear its howls as we look at the photo of Anna's daughter as she watches on the carnage that takes place. We then cut to Anna and her daughter at the kitchen table. She's got her top back on. As she opens up
I
a
don't think
new...
that was a necessary detail for this scene.
Sorry, that was bad.
That's all right.
As she opens she gets the mail and she opens up a newly delivered envelope of money. She smiles. She likes that money.
Who doesn't?
And she likes the vigilante. We then jump back into the city where we see a quick shot of the vigilante once again, dressed up in his trench coat and his suit, patrolling the streets in slow motion, and that's all she wrote.
You belong
All right.
to the
I
city.
will.
If you
I
removed
would,
all
I would
the slow
add-
motion
I
effects
would-
from this movie, it would have been 30 minutes long.
Pretty much.
There's so much slow motion in this movie.
No.
I will say that at the end here,
40,
they really
45
could.
minutes.
At the end, they really could have used as Bronski is running or walking through the city. They should have had a voiceover of Baldwin, kind of recapping,
Summon
Or
everything, everything,
do
man.
that whole thing where he's walking in slow motion, everybody else is like scurrying around.
Right,
fast.
but
No, I like your thing.
but at the same time, bring
have
Baldwin-
do a final. You know, folks, I'm just going to tell you, he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, just
And whether you know it or not, you owe him a debt of justice.
yeah, if you
You
have
owe
that
him a
kind
debt
of
of
partnership,
gratitude, and yeah, like a little final. That would have been nice.
if you have
For
that
the
kind of
justice
partnership, that would have been
they
But
awesome.
feel.
when you have a director who also does the music, he wants to hear his music over that last slow motion shot.
Well, I've got a big problem with the music in this movie. All right, first of all, you got freaking Tyrell and the biker gang just begging for some heavy metal hair band, something. I understand you've got. They didn't spend a lot of money on this on the music. It's
no,
not.
the director is the composer. He did all the
after
music.
the failure
It's
of
not
his
good, I'm
henchmen
sorry.
at every level, I kept waiting to hear like that stripper song from Any Which Way You Can for the bikers.
I would have liked it.
The music was a weak spot, especially because especially in Death Wish 2, I thought Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin did that soundtrack, and he had these little cues for Kersey, the bling bling, like these little guitar plucks that became so synonymous with the character. And we didn't have any of that.
Well,
I wanted
when
when the vigilante went out for a walk at night and he saw the robbers in the alley, or he saw the guy robbing the hot dog stand that he shot in the soccer field. I wanted to have a vigilante theme. When he's out on the prowl, he has
that's
his
what I'm
own.
saying,
No,
like,
think back to
he's got his own theme
Once Upon a
song.
Time in the West with harmonica.
Sure.
You heard that riff, you know it's harmonica. You heard the stuff, the bling bling from Kersey. You know what's going on. No, you're absolutely right. Have the music, kind of signify this is the character.
It's like
Boom.
this scene has black guys in it. I'm going to do a hip hop kind of thing. This scene has this. I'm going to do. It was.
And especially with Tyrell. Come on, you got a biker gang, man. Go.
They didn't have any bikes.
But still,
You could have parked some motorcycles out front, right?
You got a guy with a denim cut-off vest. Throw some freaking Skinner on there, man.
I was actually surprised with the Tyrell gang that they didn't put a little more into that, because it's not easy to film at an airport.
Yeah.
And this guy filmed at the Avis rental car place in an airport terminal. Like, you can't just, that's not easy to do. So
No.
it was like, I thought especially with Terrell, if that's your main bad guy, it's just like, hey, put a backwards baseball cap and a leather. Why not give them leather jackets with patches, and what are the things with bikers called? The
colors or
yeah,
whatever?
the colors and make them a that's not
Well,
hard.
that's what I said.
That's not
They were
hard. That's
kind of implying
wardrobe. Like,
like
make
a-
them a gang. Like, make him give them a little more. It's just, every time we see Tyrell, he's just got a jacket and a baseball cap on. He's got new bad guy. Like, give him a little bit of an identity, a little bit of a this guy is.
He didn't have the thing like Death Wish 3 where they had the little mark on
The little mark on their forehead, yeah.
I would have been okay with that too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just something to give them a little bit of depth there.
Yeah, he just seemed like a low-level drug dealer that had these really extravagant ways of killing people.
And a lot of KC Masterpiece.
And a lot of barbecue sauce.
Look, my guys, they robbed a truck. It was supposed to be stereo equipment, and it's barbecue sauce. I got 18 crates of barbecue sauce.
I make do with
And
what
you know
I
what?
have.
I can't unload it. So you know what? From now on, I'm going to kill all my guys.
Everybody
Last
we
week,
kill.
I drowned a guy in barbecue sauce.
I literally put him in a swimming pool and filled it with 22,000 bottles, and we had to squirt each one.
I made sure they drain those bottles.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah, the music was, as good as some of the shots. It wasn't shot real jittery. It had some really nice master shots.
The cinematography was pretty nice,
especially
on this.
of the vigilante walking around town. I thought most of the little radio station stuff with Baldwin was done nicely in the shadows. It was a very calmed down, nicely shot film for the most part. But man, the music could have really taken it to another place. Lose the CGI blood, spend a little more money on practical blood effects, and all of a sudden I just thought it would be a better movie. But having said that,
I've got no problem with the cinematography, and hats off to the colorist on it. He did a great job, or she did.
And he
a great
didn't
job.
make the city look like a washed out, gray, just nothing. I mean, it had some texture to it, and yeah, man, just a few little things. Put a little more money into the music, a little more thought into the music. Get rid of that CGI blood, and replace a few actors, because there are some good acting performances, but there's some really shit ones.
Yeah.
And man, but that aside, for a straight-to-video action movie,
it was fun
with a guy that looks just like Charles Bronson. It was lots of fun. I really like Death Kiss.
I liked the first half of it. The first half of it, I was on board with it. The second half of it, I was kind of like, it started getting. That's when I started noticing the length of the shootouts, some of the
when it got to the
plot
more
stuff.
When it
got
to
a
the
little
more
bit
complicated
weird.
cinematography-wise stuff, the shootout stuff. But man, what I saw of that Western, it was the same. And I've looked at some trailers. Two of the trailers I looked for his movies after this are shot in those same snow-covered mountains, and they have the same dude like sliding over the slate rock. I think we're starting to see a pattern here, but I'm just glad they didn't fall into a weird thing that they didn't need to, where he ended up having sex with Anna, and he ended up like talking more. I love that they stayed true to the silent street soldier. I like that they kept the vigilante who he was. Didn't betray it. And because you did that, I'll watch Death Kiss 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you give me.
It's kind of funny when you talk about the silent soldier. For some reason, Kurt Russell in The Soldier popped into my head, which I think it was a really, really well done, to where you've got Kurt Russell, who's this mega star and who chews up any type of screen that he's on, and yet you limit his dialogue so much.
You strip it all away from him.
And there are times where that just absolutely works, and I think that in this case, all right.
I mean, it was a necessity.
It's a necessity.
They didn't have a choice.
But I appreciate it. You don't need all that stuff.
Yeah, it worked. So 3 thumbs up for Death Kiss.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Last thought on Death Kiss: are there any dead movie stars you'd like to see resurrected on screen by Eastern European carbon copies? Like, this guy happened to find a Hungarian Charles Bronson. Is there anybody that you'd be like, God, I wish I could
see one more movie?
If I could find, like, the Hungarian
Steve McQueen,
Lee Van Cleef, or Steve McQueen, or Mel Gibson, could I?
Mel Gibson's not dead.
Oh, is he not?
That's my problem, is that most of the guys that I really like from the action genre, they're still alive, technically.
Steve McQueen is the only one I could think of.
I would love to be vacationing in Hungary and sitting out there having, I don't know what they eat, goulash?
Gulag.
No, goulash.
Goulash is the
prison.
food.
No, gulag is a prison.
Gulag's a prison. Eating a bowl of goulash, and all of a sudden I see the Hungarian Chris Farley. And I'm like, you're coming back to the States with me. Get your passport. I'm making Tommy Boy 2 with you. And he's like
dubbing all of his points.
And we'll just dub in his lines. But like, he looks just like Chris Farley. We can get another Chris Farley movie.
David Spade be in on it.
Yeah, we'd have to find a Hungarian David Spade too. Of course, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
That's unfortunate.
Man, I don't really know if I have one. I'd be kind of interested to see Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin popped to mind.
Yeah.
But then I think we're just in the bronzy zone.
You're in the bronzy
zone. Tough guys.
You're in the bronzy zone.
I said Lee Van Cleef, Lee Marvin, Steve McQueen. Like, don't know, I was trying to think. It's like, you know,
I was about to say, I would almost say I would love to see more Gandolfini. I just really like that
that's
dude.
a great call. A Hungarian,
but
James Gandolfini.
But you can't do a Hungarian Gandolfini because Gandolfini was his line, his voices, his act.
Well,
I mean,
he was
his
an
acting.
actual actor.
He was an actor.
Yeah,
I mean,
you couldn't dub in that.
Yeah.
I guess it just works because Bronson was such a no nonsense. I mean, you can do this because he didn't express a lot.
Yeah.
Just the way he was. That's why this works. It's just such a unique concept. It's such a unique, like, I'm so happy this thing exists.
Oh yeah, no. This
And he's doing is another movie coming out next month, like
Awesome.
Escape from Cell Block, something where dude, it's Bronzy with a machine gun.
note to self: watch
Yeah, no.
new Bronzy.
I mean,
movie.
like
I'm
once,
gonna watch every Bronzy movie.
like if we get another, 10, 20 years from now, when Arnold's gone, when Stallone's gone,
don't ever say that again.
then I can.
Dark Days.
Then the answer will be obvious. We want to see
Sure.
those guys, but from what's out there now, I just don't know. I think that you're right. I think Bronson was such a special, unique character.
This movie is magic in a bottle. And I read a quick little thing with the director. We're like, hey man,
A barbecue sauce bottle.
if I hadn't found Bronzy, this could never have happened.
Yeah.
This is magic in a bottle of Casey masterpiece. This movie was a Casey masterpiece.
That's what's funny. If you take this movie without Bronson, would it be any good?
No.
No.
It would be like every other Rene Perez movie, The Punished.
I'm trying to think of anybody. Like, you just take some person and stick him in this role.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who. Just throw him in there. It would make no sense.
I saw the guy. If you watch the
Maybe
trailer,
Dolph Lundgren.
if you watch the trailer for The Punished, his other film, which is
Yeah.
The Punisher, it's a white guy with no personality. They killed his family. He was a soldier who thought his life would be back in his. Just some generic white guy like, this changes things. That's who would be in Death Kiss if
Right,
Bronzy
right.
hadn't rode a horse in from wherever.
And I mean, like I said, I like the whole thing that they make no explanation
No.
for why he's doing this. He's just killing, because that was the whole thing. This is like
it
this-
could be
this
that he
is-
watched Death Wish movies growing up. I look just like that guy.
This
And
is
he
like
just doesn't-
being Death Wish 3, where he has no backstory.
What if he
He's just in the middle of
What
it?
if he just grew up and he's like 20 years younger than, or 30 years younger than the actual Bronson? That guy in the movies looks like me, and I've got nothing going on. Might as well do what he did. I mean, that might be something. Show Bronzy in a
Dude,
hotel
a
room
documentary?
watching Death Wish.
A documentary on Bronzy, man.
No, a documentary on the vigilante watching Death Wish, and that's why he became the vigilante. He's like, I look just like this guy.
No, I want a fucking documentary on Bronzy.
Oh, he's not that interesting. I don't think so.
Really?
He looks like Charles Bronson, and I think that's as far as you get. Maybe a featurette, like a 10-minute DVD thing.
There you
I
go.
thought about jumping out of a plane once.
My grandma used to make brownies. Hey, you know what? We're gonna wrap up.
Do a
Bronzy.
behind the scene featurette for the DVD on Death Kiss, and Tyrell's just seething, and like all the cutaway shots are just him going.
Guys, so good at it.
Hey, man, I'm gonna give Daniel
And
Baldwin.
either if you're looking for a new album cover, just put his face on your next album cover.
Wasn't that a song too? The Seether. Can't fight the Seether. I don't know. It was a girl band.
Don't fear the Seether.
Don't fear the Seether. Don't seek the Seether.
By Black Oyster Cult.
No, that was the Reaper. I'm gonna give Daniel Baldwin a thumbs up from me. I thought he really did what he was brought on set to do, and I thought he did it well.
I'll give him that. Yeah.
I thought that Richard Tyson as Tyrell knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
I think, man,
he always
plays
does.
such a grimy,
Actually,
but he's got charm to him.
Yeah.
And he's got personality. I thought he did great. I'm going to give him a thumbs up. I'm going to give Eva Hamilton a thumbs up. This movie could have been handled. Hey,
very campy, and
I'm going to cast you, my buddy, as Tyrell. I'm going to cast some stripper because I know she'll show her titties as Eva or as Anna. By getting some actual actors in here, it helped Bronzy. You know, it makes.
Oh yeah, you had to carry that.
You have to elevate him because all he's got is a look.
Yeah,
and you've got to supplement that with some real talent, and they actually did that.
Yeah,
folks, rent Death Kiss. Get some beer and rent Death Kiss. Maybe get a Innis Gunn. Are we 3 thumbs up on the beer?
I like it.
I did too.
I really do.
Yeah, it's all right.
Always gonna.
I didn't say I loved it, but I like it.
Get this man
a
bottle of barbecue sauce.
Oh, dude, that's Death Kiss 2. We're coming loaded with Casey Masterpiece. Ted's gonna be like, actually, Kate, I thought your point was quite pedantic. Let the coyotes deal with you. All right. So 3 thumbs up on the movie, 2.5 thumbs up on the beer, 3 thumbs up on the cigar.
3 thumbs up on the cigar. Yeah,
I agree. It was fun doing a Cuban, something different for us.
Yeah, definitely.
But I kind of got what the hubbub was about. It's a damn good cigar. Ted, give some links.
Actual Cubans are like this, as opposed to what everyone, Cubans are the best. Why are they the best?
99% of the time when your buddy comes home from the Cayman Islands or from Mexico, and
I get this all the time.
Hey, I was down in Jamaica and I bought these on the beach. 99% is fake. You have no idea how fake that shit is.
Well, and like I said, knowing that this was authentic, knowing that it actually does have a profile, that it has a complexity, that changes a lot. Like you said, I mean, I've smoked many Cubans, and I couldn't tell you how many of them were actually authentic or
probably very
fake.
few.
Right.
Yeah.
I like what Kate said. When your buddy goes down there and brings back, and you're like,
I can't tell you how many times, and especially early as a cigar smoker, be sitting outside and like, dude, my uncle was down in Cabo.
It always starts off like that.
It's always my uncle was in Cabo and he scored these. You don't know.
Well, you have to ask, what'd you pay for them? Oh, they were expensive.
Doesn't matter. They're fake.
Yeah.
They're always fake. Tonight we enjoyed some real Cubans, and I think we saw the benefit of, those fuckers take their shit seriously, and if you can get a hold of the good stuff, maybe get some reward out of it.
Absolutely.
I liked it. Tut links.
All right, so if you're wanting to buy Cubans, do not go to a famous smoke shop.
Don't message me.
But, if you're going to buy some other cigars, you can go to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com, click on the famous smoke banner. If you're going to buy like $100 or more, click in the code TNCC20. You'll get $20 off your order, which is like 20%. And then if you're going to do some Amazon shopping, you're going to buy your little wife something, you're going to buy your significant other something, or hey, maybe you shot somebody's daughter and you're trying to make good on it and you want to buy them a little something, go to Amazon, click on our link.
That's what you should have done. Just had Amazon Prime just deliver shit to their house every day. A waffle maker. He's in his telescope.
Click on the link.
Enjoying it.
Click on the link. Order that waffle maker. It helps us pay the bills. You don't pay anything extra for doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
All of a sudden, subscribe to us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Join us on Facebook, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Join us on Instagram, Tuesday NCC_cast. All the places you can find us.
Agreed. And I do want to say one thing. The minute it escaped my lips, I don't often do this on the show, but something escaped my lips just a short while ago, and I feel bad about it, and I want to just say I'm sorry before we leave the show. I was talking about how I'd love to find on the beaches of Hungary. Do they have beaches in Hungary?
Yes.
I'm sitting on the beaches of Hungary, and I find my Hungarian Chris Farley, and I grab him in the net, and you're coming back to the States with me to make some comedies. And I mentioned we'd have to find a Hungarian David Spade, and you told me he was still alive. And I muttered the words, well, that's unfortunate. I like David Spade.
I do too.
I don't wish he was dead. And I felt bad when I said that. And I think it takes a big man to step up and say he was sorry.
I'm glad you said that.
And I'm that man.
Barbecue sauce.
Right my eye. The wolves are going to get it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to be live next week. I guess we got to hurry up and get this one out then.
Yeah, I guess
Jeez,
so.
it never ends. Episode 92, live from O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas. We're going to be talking Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh!
We're going to be smoking a cigar blended by Masons.
By Masons
By Masons. A cigar blended by Masons.
or Stonecutters?
Our guest, Rev Java, is a Mason. He picked Revenge of the Nerds. He said the fraternity angle, secret societies, the goats, everything ties together.
Rates?
We'll see. Maybe some cheese curds?
Oh.
We'll see. It's going to be a hell of a show. Tut wants to do it live, and I think I just might go along with that crazy line of thought. We'll do it. So stay tuned. We're rocking. We've had a good year so far, and I want to keep that going.
All right.
All right, folks. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Sayonara, motherfuckers. Now you're dead.
To learn more about the time I went on a hellish, ultra-violent, bloody vigilante killing spree to avenge my family's death, only to realize they were in fact not dead at all, but just at the grocery store. Oops. Read my riveting and quite shameful short story, Death Goof. Hey, we all make mistakes, punk. And in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit habanos.com and innisgunn.com.
For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.